to the channel. Welcome back, or just plain old welcome if you're new. Been getting double rallied by life lately between the monsoons and the doctor's appointments for more than one adult. It's been challenging, but yeah, I just thought I'd get in, and this is, if anybody shows up, that'd be great. If not, that's fine. Let's see if I can find this anywhere on my fancy laptop so I can follow along. What's going on? Great. I'm gonna have to look at the itsy bitsy chat. Anybody in here yet? Oh, anyway, there's my sign. Um, just gonna briefly touch on this episode of State of the Stack by Silver Sleuth. New additions to my stack. Thinking about putting together Eagle Dansko album, filling that in just for the heck of it, and video subject matter. Downsizing some silver, pouring fails, prepping priorities, and the immediate future. Good fun. I'll get rid of that so close-ups won't be so tough. Looks like we got humans in the house. Thanks for coming in. It's going to try to, oh, there it is. All right. I think I'm caught up. All right, so Phoenix Coins. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Silver foil hat, howdy. Super. Anyway, so since I got a couple hardcore stackers in the house, I'm going to go over a couple of these things. So, oh man, I forgot to tell you that I kind of sandbagged my November budget, my December, and my January budget. I was expecting to spend some money at that coin show in mid-November, I think it was, and I didn't spend a dollar. Did some trading, and so since then I've just been just haven't seen anything that tickled my fancy or followed my program. And then I had some surprises show up, and or as it were, I found them. So I got this. Let me see if I can get it into the. I can take it out of this flip. It didn't come in a flip. This is a let me see, a 2008. What you call it? Gold American Eagle. Now, I don't know. I'm probably wrong. When I do think of this coin or see it in chats, a lot of times it's abbreviated with a three-letter acronym. GAE or AGE. They're American Eagles, whether they're gold or silver. So the gold and the silver. So what comes first, gold American Eagle or American Gold Eagle? Give me your thoughts. Let me see. Space Miner, hello, sir. The Osmium Astronaut. So, hey, I got this at a pawn shop. It's nice. Stopped in. This was the second one I've purchased from this coin shop. I bought one last year early. Actually, one of the first physical buys that I got my hands on since I took about an 8-year break. But great looking coins. I mean, American Eagles just don't seem to be that popular, even though they're one of the most widely recognized and maybe one of the most sold or minted. I know silver Eagles between 86 and 21, I think they minted over 560 million, over a half a billion. And then a different pawn shop. I found a new pawn shop. I looked for it where it used to be, couldn't find it. Found this one in a different section of town, in a suburb, I'd call it. And well, they had moved from the building behind where I was looking to the one up front on the main drag, in between a Korean bar and a mini mart. And they had this, and this is a 1/4 ounce. So yeah, I normally 1/10 of the ounce is on my radar, but I haven't been able to find them live. I've gotten a few off the line, different reputable dealers. But that's cool. A lot of weight, a lot of budget right there. And then I had seen, I think it was Dub C did a special video or live, and they were talking about these intaglio mint, which I already knew made one of Salivate Metals rounds, the 2-ounce round, one that I've got. And so they have these Overstrike series, and there's, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 or maybe 10 different designs minted on top of an old 64, 90% JFK half dollar. Who else is in here? FG Stacker. Hello, FG. We're just talking about stuff, silver and stuff, and gold. So this is cool. So he had some kind of giveaway. I did not win. And I don't know if Bellows won either. But I got this because I got a bunch of Indians, generic Indians, and U.S. Mint Indian head coins. This is 1 ounce, or excuse me, not even. It's not 1 ounce. It's 90% JFK. Now, when I looked at it on the website, at least from their photo, it was a lot easier to see JFK's hairline. But if you look right up here, just to the left of Liberty, if I get my camera to cooperate, kind of see it almost looks like an air on the coin, but that's JFK's hair. But on the website, on the photos that they took, it was a lot easier to see. And then, so this is the Overstrike series. Talks about 1964 Kennedy half. So that's, gee whiz. So it says 12.5 grams. I don't know if that's the silver content. I just know, so a 90% Kennedy, I don't know how much silver's in that, but it would be less than half an ounce, 90%. So 15.6 minus 1.5, I don't know, 13.4 grams of silver in there somewhere. But I didn't buy it. This is not a weight dominated decision to buy this. This is just uniqueness. And because I have changed a little bit since I met you folks and saw all these different kinds of coins out there. So, yep, I splurged. Don't think I overpaid. I'm pretty sure with the prices I've seen in the last few days, uh, I'm all good on that. So, yeah, 2024 Overstrike Buffalo. Oh, there it is. Has a special. I wouldn't call that. Maybe that is a COA. Yeah, it is Certificate of Authenticity. Good job, Intaglio. They have a really neat site. Not a huge selection, and they also had part of the Overstrike series. I got this Barber. This was more of a sentimental purchase because my dad's dad was a barber back in the Depression, back in the early 20th century. And I also, same thing, on the website, you can see JFK a little bit better. And I can see a little bit of his skull there towards the forehead of this Roman looking dude. And then, so this talks about the 1964 Kennedy half, 12.5 grams, 10% copper, 90% AG, mintage of 250. Oh, I didn't notice that. So is this going to be a collector's item? I doubt it. Are they cool? Without a doubt. Let me see what did I just see? Oh, mintage. So this set also has a mintage. Does it say total mintage 250? Oh, neat. Don't care. But so I also noticed they had something else in there, and this is my first Donald J. Trump anything coin. No, I got $100 gold bill from Liberty Bleeds Silver. But this is commemorating the presidential inauguration, January 20th, 2025. Well, the lighting's kind of weak out here, isn't it? That's horrible. I got a studio light, but it's not that late. But I do this outside, and I got to be quiet. So, yeah, number 47. Nice looking back, presidential seal in the middle, or down here it looks like, with some some plant life growing up along the sides. Got a bunch of really super small print down there. 1 ounce, 9999.9. Really neat. And then I don't know about, I'm not a art critic. So there is a reasonable facsimile of Donald J. Trump. I don't know if that's his mugshot, I don't know, rendition, but it's pretty cool. It was definitely at the right price. Didn't overpay or anything like that. I know it's not sanctioned by Donald Trump, but that's cool. So that was about it. Oh, I did get this. They had this at one of these pawn shops. I forget which one. I think this is where I got the quarter ounce. But they didn't have a whole lot, more than the other shop. But they didn't have a whole lot, and so that I just picked it up because I had a little bit of extra cash left over. And this I found in my travels. This is a El Cortez Casino token, 1979. Don't think it's silver. I put a magnet on it. It's not magnetic. There's a nice engraving caricature of the state of Nevada. Boy, they've even got a bunch of mountains thrown in there. I didn't realize Arizona was that mountainous. I've driven through Arizona. I don't know what that major route is through there. 10 went through Gila Bend. I remember that much. This is a $1 gaming token acceptable only at El Cortez, Las Vegas. Not silver probably, but it's kind of neat. It's got a kind of a neat edge, almost reeded, but maybe reeded wannabe. I don't know what's up with that, but very cool. So that's the first part. Let me see. Oops, my fancy computer. I got to follow chat, or do I? Welcome back. It said, oh, that's me. Liberty Bleeds Silver. Like it up, y'all. That's the only time I say y'all is when I'm quoting Liberty Bleeds Silver. Uh, and so FG Stacker, thanks for coming in. Phoenix Coin, I thank you. Jesus, hello. Thanks for coming in. This ain't going to be very long because I'm going to make up little videos about most of these subjects, except for the recent acquisitions. I don't think I need to go into any more of that. I mean, Eagles are Eagles. Fancy stuff is fancy stuff. No big deal. There we go. Let me see. So, oh, Eagle. So that's my new additions to the stack. Yeah, check that out. So what do I got here? What am I looking at? Eagle. Oh, yeah. So we got a bunch of Eagles that are loose. They're all in tubes practically. I think I've got some in flips, some recent ones that I've got in the past 5 months or so. But I got all these different Eagles, different years. Some of these tubes are all the same year. That's not. So that was a 2005, and then I got a 2010. So anyway, I'm sure I have 1986 through. I'm gonna in just regular bullion kind. I'm gonna say until about 2015 when I stopped buying from the mint because they're overcharging uh, business people. And but I don't know if you've been watching Urban Stacker. There's all kinds of people out there that are filling albums. It's really cool. And so I thought, yeah, I checked out the pricing on Dansko's versus, I think, Whitman. One's blue and one's brown. The brown ones are really nice, and they got an extra page for 2021 Type 2 and beyond. And I think I'm caught up. I don't have a 25. But I want to get one of these Dansko albums and fill it up a little bit at a time while I find them. Fortunately, I don't have to go traipsing around to coin shops or anything like that to find them. And then, if I find my first 86, I won't stick it in the album right away, but I'll put it near the slot. And then I will, if that's the best that I got, well, then I'll put it in the slot. But I'm going to wait until I kind of have to critique all 86, 87, 88, so on and so forth. Now, I do have, now the bullions are going to be a little tougher, probably around 2011 or 12, because those would either be burnished or proofs or both. So I got some collecting to do, but that shouldn't be too hard. I don't have the coin shops that you folks have, though. But the online, I tell you, there is all kinds of opportunities to buy stuff online. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, those are done. I don't know what I did with. Oh, I got them out of the way. And pouring fails. Yeah, pouring fails. Got a lot of those. These are the crucibles I've destroyed so far. One of them still got a bunch of silver in it. I've been able to scrape some of that stuff out, all of it except for this one. Haven't tried yet. And I will, when I get me a forge, I'll turn back to that. Up until this point, I thought I was so excited and so full of myself, thinking, "Oh, that looks easy." Yeah, it looks easy, but maybe wind. I think wind is my biggest downfall. So pouring fails. Yeah, I'm good at that. Southeast Stacker, hey, he says hi to 210. Hey, 210. I don't know who else I'm missing on here. Hey, Zeus, Southeast Stacker, I'm caught up. Liberty Police is keeping the chat moving. Thank you very much, sir. It's asleep in my brain. Oh, yeah, this is an insomnia remedy tool. Anyway, so yeah, I was all excited about pouring silver, and I suck at it, or at least the melting part. Thinking a propane uh, furnace forge, devil's forge, something like that. So these were some prototypes that I made. This one I made for um, Bob Wozakowski, Chief Bob, Death from Below, trying to simulate what if I this would make a pour. You put it in, you do the sand thingy in the frame, and beep, 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 silver punk style and everybody else kind style that does that. That was the plan. So, yeah, but it took me a long time to figure out how to do this anchor, and then I simulated once I had this thing poured on how to get the embossing in, probably with a stamp, a stamper, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, just kind of toying around with it and didn't get much further than that. And then I did one for bellows. I tried to figure out how to carve or sculpt out a family fireplace, kind of like that they used to kind of use as a forge sometimes, but not really. But that was the closest thing I could come to figure out what I might be able to do, and it turns out I wasn't. And so I thought, oh, what the heck? I'm going to see if I can make me a little small coin or round mold. You put it in, put in the sand, turn upside down, get the silver liquid, and then pour it in there. That's the part I'm having problems with. And so I thought, well, if I had, and not saying that this is fitting for Bellows Forge, but I want to get him something made. And so I did a little bit of kind of pretend stamping on the side, and it actually spells out Bellows Forge 2025. And Bob had mentioned, of course, I know he was a sailor, a submariner, all fall under I think the moniker sailor. I was a sailor. And number 4 is important to him. I don't know why, and I don't care, but I remember writing it down for some reason. So yeah, I'm going to hang on to these until I get me a Devil's Forge, and that's outside of my precious metals budget. Forge would be, I guess, come out of the entertainment budget, which is really small, but it's enough to cover a furnace, and I'm pretty sure I'll need a better set of something that comes with it, the tongs that pulls it out, maybe an extra crucible. But yeah, so that's where I'm on that fail and prepping priorities. How about that? I've noticed besides sobriety and copper, there are other uh, crossover hobbies, interests that cross over into stacking, and turns out that prepping might be one of them. And right now I have been devoting some time priorities to prepping. Not that I'm going out and buying a bunch of stuff that I need because I'm in the rotating phase of prepping. So yeah, I'm eating chili. That Best By date was 2022. I probably bought this stuff in 2017. Right as soon as I got back, I had to get restocked. So I might do a video on prepping priorities as it relates to silver, kind of like why or what if. Um, Security features of it, future plans in case you got to bug out. That's one thing about silver. It is bulky and heavy. And I have taken somewhat of a remedy to that using some backpacks, not tactical looking kind, just plain black. Uh, they are kind of tactical-ish. They got moly and all kinds of neat pockets and stuff. But to get out the door, Um, the older I get, the less concerned about that I am. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm a bug-in guy now. But I like to be prepared. You never know, in case I do have to walk away. Of course, there's more than uh, uh, Tiwaki. Is that what they call it? The end of the world as we know it. SHTF. There's all different kinds of those things. So let's look at the chat. That's just what it sounds like too. Oh, is my volume horrible? I didn't even look. I didn't even ask. Does this say winner on it? Wiener? I'm trying to see where we are in the chat. Oh, I'm behind. All right. So let me catch up with the chat and then I'll let you guys go. What else am I talking about? I forget. Oh, immediate future. Yeah, so my immediate future is learning how to melt silver, get rid of these things. The poker chip collection is neat. Uh, these are my collections from other channel people. And but I got double shipped, and I guess I have a bucket list item. I want to get rid of these things before I die. Help me out. If you want them, let me know. Gonna be doing some ping testing of some of my new stuff just for the heck of it, even though I know they're genuine, and I'll be ping testing stuff before I put it in that fancy brown album. Uh, Other recent pickups just to feed my eagle fetish. Type 2, got a little star privy kind thing. This is probably my most interesting subject that I'll be coming up with is United States Gold Counterfeit Detection Guide. It's by some guy named Bill. I'm going to take a wild stab and say Fizaz. And if it's not Fivaz, that sounds cool. That sounds almost like a stage name. Super smart dude. In particular, I was not only looking at these old Indian heads. These are pre-33s. They're all from the early 20th century, 1910, a 1915, a 1926, I believe. I thought there was another one around here somewhere. There probably is. Um, I don't have a whole lot of pre-33 gold, but the one that I do have, and I did do a little teaser video on it, was this little itsy bitsy $1 gold piece. And this is 1853. Man, these things are so small. This is how small it is. Look at it compared to a dime, which I think is the smallest circulated coin that any of us have ever really carried around. Super small. And then, now I know they're different densities, but this is a 20th ounce koala. And they're very similar. And it makes sense because this is $1. So yeah, really super small. Now here's the gasser. Is I'm pretty sure this thing is genuine. I did go through and I compared to, but so this book is awesome. I don't know when it was published, 2004 or something like that. But this has not just one page of 1853 Liberty Head $1 examples, but two, three, four, five, and six different ways to break your heart. So I'm going to do a more in-depth episode of that. What's going on in the chat? We need a bug-out submarine. Boy, I tell you, I live so close to Pearl Harbor that I don't think that's practical for me, but I imagine it will be for some people in the area. I probably eventually got to find that Indian head that I thought I had. So that's it, folks, guys, gals. Who else we got in here? Oh, look at Liberty. He is the moderator with the most. He's putting out the Cranky Stacker link. I love these links. Now, some channels, I guess apparently mine doesn't. You can click on the avatar or the name, I think, and you have a choice of going to their channel and subscribing. A lot of them it says report or I forget. I forget what the, let me click on somebody that's not blue. No, go to channel. So, all right, well, cool. So I'm looking that people can link off of these, but I've subscribed to a lot of channels off of lives. So that's right, little brother. Um, hey, Zeus, that is exactly what I'm saying. There's no way. When I first started looking at this coin, and I hadn't looked at it for, oh my gosh, since probably 1998 until, the last 5 or 6 months since I've been hanging out with you folks. Yeah, the first thing I thought, I imagine I was a janitor in a saloon or a speakeasy, sweeping up at night and finding these little things in the cracks of the wooden floor, or behind the maybe in the outhouse. I don't even know if they had indoor plumbing at these places or not. But yeah, it's so small. So I mean, if you listen to Dub C, it does make sense. They did make these things, I guess, kind of for circulation, but I'm thinking that the population must have figured out, well, this isn't practical. Now, I would be paranoid about losing something like this, even in a case, even in an assay card. I think it'd be tougher to lose. But yeah, I just cannot imagine not being paranoid enough to, boy, that's just horrible. How do you guys do that? Oh, I know there's too much background. Let's see if anyway, so I'm going to hang up soon. So let me go to Nature's Tripod, my hand and my knees. Oops, hello. Um, so Liberty's been doing a great job catching up on the, what do you call it? Chat. All right, so I'm going to see if I can focus in on it. Come on, honey. Doesn't look like it. I tell you, regular videos are a lot easier. I'm almost afraid to touch. Dub does know. Oh, I can actually see the chat now. Yeah, this on live feature, this camera is junk. And I guess I don't know how you do a practice live, but we're heading up on 27, 28 minutes. I don't want to keep everybody too long. Hang up soon, 1982. Oh, that's right. No, I was going to try to put people to sleep. I was going to make an insomnia aid. Just ramble on and on and on about all kinds of silly stuff. I know something that would put people to sleep is my get home packet. I have an unorthodox wallet, and this thing just fits in it just perfectly. And in here, I got a gram of gold in one of those Turkish Istanbul assay cards, a $20 bill, a Federal Reserve note. And I think a couple Kennedy halves and or quarters. Yeah, good fun stuff being paranoid. So let me look under the. Oh, there it is. Finally, I found the other Indian. What year is it? But these Indians, speaking of counterfeits, they've got issues. So that's in 1914. Uh, they have all kinds of counterfeiting examples in this book. It's a very intensive book. I don't dislike it. It hasn't given me bad news yet, though. So maybe if it does, I will hate it. Silver Eagle Proof. I know I've been watching a lot of giveaways, super generous giveaways. I don't know how this would match. But if and when I ever hit 1,000 subscribers, and I don't know where I'm at, I might be close to 300 or 400. For some reason, I got two of these things. Maybe I made a mistake. I know I'm pretty sure I got. I hate to think that I got both of them from the mint, because then I overpaid. But this is a 2011 proof, one of two that I own out of many. 86 through I think around 2015. Yeah, this, if I ever make it to 1,000 subscribers, I am going to give this away randomly. I'm gonna have, I got plenty of time to figure out that fancy online random spinning wheel. I'll go after the non-rigged version. Um, I imagine the rigged version's more expensive. But yeah, these, Eagles take a bad rap. I don't know. Oh, premiums. Oh, and then people, coin of the realm. Um, I don't understand any of that uh, pejorative talk, but it's not going to convince me otherwise. Now, this particular coin does look like it's in really good shape. I don't know about grading. I kind of gave up on grading. I've got a double eagle. Made a video, got some really good input from a lot of people that know more about that kind of stuff than me, and um, I'm not holding anybody to it, but it seems like the general consensus is it's an authentic. I forget what year it is. I know it's not an 1895 because I want 1895 anything. My dad's dad was born in 1895, so I'm a collector too, I guess. Um, I didn't. I kind of started out as a collector and then found stacking after I found about the Federal Reserve and all the shenanigans. Um, Jesus, I am with you, bro. But yeah, it just doesn't change the fact a lot of people don't like it, and maybe it is just the premium. But lately there's been all this tariff talk and scare talk about tariffs affecting the price of Canadian coins and Mexican silver and gold and maybe other countries, although I don't know of anybody that is anxious to get their any coins from China, but because I guess they have a counterfeit issue as well. But I'm just wondering, well, or if, and I don't think they're going to happen. I don't think there's going to be tariffs. I don't think there ever was going to be a tariff on silver and gold from Canada or Mexico. I don't know about China or any other places, but it, and it seems like the most recent news is bearing that out. That, and then to me, it made sense. It's like the president is basically saying, "Hey, I'm going to tariff you unless you help me out with the borders. Unless you help me keep the fentanyl out of the United States, we'll help keep it out of Canada and Mexico. And hey, no problem, back to normal." But I don't know. I think almost anything causes channels to come up with reasons why prices are going to go up tomorrow or down tomorrow or next week or next month. I don't like looking at my stack as Federal Reserve notes. Just bargain chips. Help me help you. Right on, Emerald. Uh, used to be Emerald Coast Stacker, I believe. So anyway, let me get caught up in chat since I got me a fancy phone that is easier to look at. So getting ready, but I want to recognize everybody. I don't know if I can get to the very top. Yeah, I sure did. Phoenix Coins came in, said, "Hey, buddy." Oop. Silver foil hat. Howdy. What else we got going here? Silver foil bought a quarter ounce of gold today. Oh, right. Congratulations. I would ask you what you got, brand, country. Uh, to me, I see 1/4 ounce of gold, and I'm thinking winter. Uh, kind of excited for it. Yes, I would imagine more than just you and I are excited for it. That is kind of cool and kind of inspiring. Uh, Space Miner uh, came in from outer space, the Osmium Galaxy, to say good evening. Silver foil hat responded. There's Phoenix coins. Everybody knows Space Miner. No, they're not. They're not heckling your boy Sleuth. Phoenix says not yet. I don't see Phoenix as a heckler. Seems a lot more polite. Kevin Hawthorne. Good evening, Kevin Hawthorne. Thanks for stopping by. Just getting ready to sign off. FG Stacker. with the fancy at Silver Sleuth and saying hi to some other folks. Space Miner's still here. FG, Phoenix, 210 stacks. Thank you for stopping in. And there's Liberty Bleeds, everybody's favorite moderator and interviewer and live streamer. You're promoted. Somebody's promoted. Thanks for letting me know that this cat was on at Phoenix. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know if they're talking about me or this, but that's cool. It's a lot. I subscribe to so many people. It's really hard to even keep anybody straight. But it's the thought that counts. Zeus says nice. Thank you very much. Brad Lewis, hello. Where's the thumbs up button at? I think you can double tap your screen if it's a phone, or I think at the bottom, kind of bottom left center, if it's something else like a laptop or something like that. Yes, Zeus, unexpected live. Nice to see you. Yeah, I just I was kind of experimenting. I did about a 8-second live because a lot of people, not a lot anymore, but a few people have grumbled at me about this portrait. I don't know what you would call that, the portrait mode versus the horizontal landscape. And so, yeah, but apparently you doing it in landscape takes more talent than what I have. Brad, yeah, hit the dots in the upper right corner. Cool. Did not know that. Um, Liberty Bleeds with some emojis. Space Miner, emoji back. It's an emoji war. Oh, there's a great big orange emoji. That's cool. El Cortez, hecka old school. All right. Well, I don't think it's silver, Liberty, but it's cool. It's definitely, I would call it a vintage piece of Las Vegas memorabilia. And not my first one. I got another one. I forget where it's stashed. I'm slowly but surely getting rid of everything. When I say getting rid of, make it so I won't have to look at it again until 2029 for various tinfoil hat reasons. Yeah, it was a cool token. I don't know what I did with it already. Southeast come in. He had a live today. Little bit about prepping, which doesn't bother me whatsoever. I watch these. I don't know what do you call it, crossover subjects. They're interesting. They're from people that, yeah, I met them because of silver, but thank gosh that we don't all talk about nothing but silver. I like it. Doesn't bother me. Um, I like the silver talk too, but I don't like the daily, hourly, minutely. Silver's up by 0.12, or gold is down by a whole $6. That's just doesn't get me too excited. Now maybe in less than 5 years, 4 years and 10 and a half months, might be more concerned about it if I make it. There's Liberty promoting everybody, including me. Really appreciate that. Southeast says hi to FG, FG, FG. Love yes, the topographical Nevada map on the back. Yeah, that is sick. As you know what? Sick as a biscuit? Sick as the son of a biscuit? Brad Lewis comes in and say, what is that dragon on top of the eagle? Dragon on top of the eagle. That I don't know. Oh, you might be talking about that El Cortez. What did I do with those? I might have put them under the backdrop. Oh, I found this little thing. Oh, Balboa. I don't know if it's silver, has silver in it. I do remember back in 2011 when I unloaded a bunch of stuff that I regret selling because it was what I called ugly, didn't fit into my stacking plans. 1966 Balboa. But yeah, they're big. But when I sold them, I weighed them. I didn't claim it had any kind of silver content other than what I could find on the internet. And it seemed to work. Um, Good photos, decent scale back then. And I had never had any issues with anything that I peddled off on eBay. Um, and I made bank. Let me see. So Space Miner. I do have a helipad and a special branch for people like T-Bird and Space Miner who flies around in a spacecraft. Uh, okay, so there's Liberty putting out some links. I love the link idea. Thank you so much. Got one for Jesus, Southeast Stacker, Liberty Bleeds Silver. Ooh, that was from Space Miner. Another one for Brad Lewis. I'm gonna have to click on that one after I'm done. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to him for some reason. The name sounds super familiar, but I'm subscribed to thousands of people. uh, uh, yeah, I love these. Now this is a custom uh, Silver Eagle tube. Look at that pennant on there, or a flag. There's some guy named Captain Bleeds. I've never met him, but for some reason he likes me and sent me a bunch of stuff. And this I was able to salvage off of an envelope. And yeah, that's super cool. I just love that logo. But yeah, these tubes are great. I've got some of these tubes with non-eagles in them, um, but they were part of my quest to fill a monster box with nothing but Lucy's. You know, loose kind you buy 5 at a time here, 4, 1, 40, 80 in tubes already. Uh, Took me a long time to get that thing filled because I kind of forgot about it until I met you folks. Ended up having to get 84 to complete that mission, which I did in 2024, not too long after I met you folks. The day after, or the day that I learned that Costco sells Silver Eagles online for a decent price with 4% different kind of cash back. I don't mind saving money. But yeah, the ASE tubes are really cool. Is there anything else you'd rather stare at than an eagle? Although that's all I have is eagles. Uh, this is a nice. Oh, there's the Cortez thingy. There we go. Let's stare at it for a little while. Okay. So anyway, so this is going to be a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm probably going to figure out something for 500. That seems to be the protocol. But I thought this would make a nice, and it's no skin off of my back. And I think it would give somebody joy, hopefully, even if they don't like eagles. Um, but very cool. Let me see. So, oh yeah. So here's the Cortez. Come back here. Let's make him a nice little stage. There we go. So we can get. Okay. So didn't see any dragon on an eagle. I guess this doesn't even have an eagle. Well, this thing's focusing a little bit better. But yeah, that is beat up. Oh my goodness. When I see rounds or coins or really any collectible, I like to think about its past. Now with pottery, it's not too exciting. Probably sat on some old woman's shelf because I used to sell pottery. Or an old eccentric guy like me that likes pottery. But coins are different. And FG has a world silver quest going on where he's filling an album with coins from all over the world, 190 different countries, from A to Z, that have some silver content in them. So that's pretty cool. But this is pretty neat. Yeah, I do like that where you can see the mountains. I'm guessing that those are mountains. But yeah, I don't think there's any precious metals in this. It does have a cool edge, kind of somewhat reeded, which I don't think you can pick up in the camera. Oh, let's see if I can get a little bit of that texture. There's some. Almost look like they wanted to read it, or maybe it's just so worn out. And what was a gaming token used for back in whatever this was, 1979? So in 79, no, they didn't. We didn't. Did they have games? Maybe this was for a slot machine or something like that, not a Pac-Man or anything. I don't know. I never really got into video games. other than, sometimes they were at a bar and says, "Hey, come play this." I say, "Well, is it free?" Yeah, very cool. So let me see. So am I caught up? Let me get caught up and let you guys get back to Peter. Hey, Peter. Uh, Let me see. So blah blah blah. Liberty there, still doing the great master of ceremonies. Oh, I should be staring at something. What can I? Oh, this is never hurts to stare at some gold. Get there we go. While I'm looking through chat, maybe it'll decide to focus as well on this as it did on that Mr. Cortez thing. I don't think it's gonna work. Come on, baby. That's close enough. Give me a break. Just snap groggy. Uh, Boy, this chat is so hard to read, but it looks like FG Stacker links somebody. Oh, probably Liberty Bleeds. Libba. Um, Shout out to Peter. Southeast Stacker high to 210. Liberty Bleeds got some sleepy in his brain. Sounds like a fun mission. Fill in the book. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, I think, yeah, I guess fun. It'll be interesting. Um, are you renting space from Dick Cheney at Sleuth? Uh, I'm not a big Dick Cheney fan. Uh, I Yeah, not at all. Uh, I like him more than his daughter, probably, but I think my dislike for both of them is probably pretty equal. Uh, Cold is impacting my metal flowing at the minute. So cold, yes, and I'm thinking wind can affect, at least with them little poor man's crucibles. And I might have went the too poor route. Maybe it's the crucibles are defective. Um, so Emerald says, "Da sleuth, da brah." He has a Hawaiian connection. I think he lived over the. Whoops, come back here. Uh-oh, did I just time somebody out? Hope not. Uh, oh, do that. Okay, let me see. Unhide user. There we go. I think I just hid somebody and then I've love the anchor. Yeah, that was more of like uh, a transfer. I did it on a piece of clay and then put it on that slabby kind of round-ish coin type slab and fiddled with it. And I was trying to make kind of like waves in the back or like it was on an ocean. My imagination is just way better than my talents. Uh, I don't know what I butchered, but yeah, I believe it. Um, Emerald says, "Good evening to the fellas. Looks like I'm counterfeiting." No, I'm learning about counterfeits. Maybe go higher denominations. Um, don't understand that, but I understand me not understand it. It's just what it's kind of like. So I must have missed the point. Mr. and Mrs. West Oh, and Joseph Lopez and Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker joined. Uh-oh, how'd that one go? Channel activity removed. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do any of that. How did I remove a message? Message deleted by. Oh, I have no idea. That's a shame. Don't be offended in case. Yes, Chief Bob is the man. Focus on this thing. So hope you're having a good evening, Joseph. Yes, I agree. Darth Osiris. Wow, I didn't see that. I wonder. Okay, Bro West. So I don't know how I did that. As moderator. Yeah, I'm going to do that. There we go. Man. Hello, goodbye. LBS you rock, and I may send you something to help you rock harder. TMI. Uh, Cranky says, "What's up, y'all?" Wheelbarrow, cranky. All right, got quite a bit of folks in here. Thank you so much. Uh, Bug out submarine. Yeah, for real. No, I'm old. I really don't care. I just wouldn't want any discomfort to fall upon my wife or her mom. Well, Phoenix Chip King here. Yeah, I think 7 stacks is at the very least Chip Queen. For the win, BUG. Thank you for the horses. Did you catch my live mail opening? I did not, or maybe I did, and I just don't remember, Cranky. But I like your videos. You're not cranky. You don't seem cranky. Nice pre-33. Yeah, pre-33s are cool. I'd like to say I wish I'd have concentrated on them more when I was out fervently seeking silver about 1998 when I got super paranoid and felt the need to get as much of it as I could possibly get according to budget and income restraints. But yeah, they're cool. But I think they were kind of pricey in the shops. I traded for all my pre-33 gold. And I didn't trade money, just stuff. Can I imagine trying to carry? Yes, I imagine trying to carry. I think carrying would be easy. Losing would be easier. Awesome sauce as usual. Have a great night, everyone. Liberty must be leaving. Thanks, Liberty. Uh-oh. I don't know how I... Activity, I don't know. What the heck? Well, I just really junk at this. All right, so I better get out of here while I can. Zeus took off. See you, bye. Thank you. Phoenix leaving, or maybe it was Liberty's leaving. We need larger font on these coins. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Oh, I found on the ground. One would think, but I don't know. I just can't imagine why would anybody want to carry that out of the house, especially as even $1 gold, even that little itsy bitsy, probably less than a 20th ounce of gold, or right around a 20th ounce. I think those were pretty dear. Um, my grandfather, who was born in 1895, he used to joke and say only the bootleggers had gold. So in 33, my family didn't have to worry about hiding any gold. See, so yes, it is 1982 in my mind. ASMR. There you go. See, yeah, your eyes are getting droopy. Off to the office says FG Stacker. Thank you, FG, for stopping in. Drive safely. Bag of Doritos. Yeah, I don't eat that kind of stuff. I can't not even remember the last time I had a chip, any kind of chip. I make homemade potato chips sometimes. The 1C or IC, Incuse. Yeah, those are cool. Um, but apparently, they were a target of counterfeiters. Now, again, Dub C, he's the man. And it made sense the way he explained it that sometimes they made counterfeits to get the gold repatriated, so to speak, back into the United States after the 33 order by FDR. So yeah, but so they might make it might be a counterfeit. Yeah, oh no, it's not a real inclusive Indian 1916 whatever, $2.50 gold piece. But it's made out of real gold. That's funny. But there's a lot of examples in that book by that Fivaz guy. And some Lee press on nails. I remember those commercials. Yeah, that's an. I mean, I don't know. This is a lot more goldy looking compared to the quarter ounce that I got at a different pawn shop. So maybe it's the environment or it's past or what it was kept in the back. But this camera's not really doing the gold in this particular one justice. But I would have even bought it even if it had the Roman numeral date. I don't like the Roman numeral dates. I got a few of them, and they're just too confusing. But so that's a nice front end or obverse, but the reverse on the gold eagle here is pretty cool. It's like a mama eagle coming back to her kids at the nest, or the what is an eagle living in a lair? In God we trust. It has all the it hit to me. It hits all the bells and whistles, and especially with the weight and the fine gold, which apparently means 90% sometimes. Let me get back to looking at the kind chat. Hello there. Got any other pretty stuff that might look good? I think JFKs are just a real, just real nice coins. I know this is not a 90%, so what does that make it? 40%, but I think it was $5. But I like that seal on the back. Eagles are cool. And just think, if Ben Franklin would have got his way, it's possible that we'd have a bunch of turkeys on our coins. You never know. Anything interesting up here? I don't think so. Still looking. That's about it. Awesome. Well, that means I can get through chat. If you haven't fallen asleep yet, you're getting sleepy. Focus. There we go. Help me help you. Somebody saw somebody's shorts. All the freaking time. Well, this is great. You guys are getting along really well. There's Being Becky. Hello, Being Becky. Somebody do that special linky thing for Being Becky. She's starting to get active with putting content out there. And I understand I put varied content out, and I don't expect really anybody to like any of it, or especially everybody to like all of it. But I like hitting the like button for other people. I like unless it's a Dr. Gundry 45-minute long advertisement. I just I let it go through. You cannot speed up the ads. That's kind of a bummer. But 15-second ad in there, it doesn't bother me. I think they took silver out of the casino dollars around 1967. Well, that would make sense. Although in 1967, I'm not sure how people were concerned about their, because it only been 2 or 3 years since their money was devalued. Um, I'm not sure what the awareness was, especially in an era where it wasn't 24/7 news. There was no CNN or Turner Network, or there was 4, 6, and 10, and a PBS station. News was at, I think, probably 6:30 at night, and then there was a national news after that, and um, it wasn't much awareness going along. Okay, Zeus, it's working. Zeus has to pass out, unfortunately. 4 a.m. right around the corner. Nice to see you all tonight. Nice to see you, Zeus. Sleep safely. Silver fearmongers are the worst. Well, I don't know what's there to be scared of with silver? I've tried to figure out. Um, I've tried to figure out reasons to talk myself out of being concerned about silver and gold. Um, but putting that aside, I think it's a healthier hobby or habit than a lot of things that the majority of other people do. But that's just so. I don't know about the doomer and gloomer stuff. Um, it's almost comical, but yeah, I don't. And I'm a doom and gloom guy, I guess. I'm a SHTF prepper, or was, still am. Just not as crazy about it because I'm old now. It's 25 years later, 30 years later. for that kind of. I've been expecting it tomorrow morning for the last 35 years, but it's just something I can't really get out of my brain. But after getting prepared, and I know I can't prepare for everything, especially security here in anti-Second Amendment state of Hawaii. But you know, the best you can do is all you can do. And when I first started, when I got my goal weight for silver, which was my dominated motivating goal, gold was kind of an accidental afterthought that got in the way or preceded my stacking of silver. But yeah, I haven't really changed that much. But I don't, what's the gloom? What could be the gloom? I guess if you just first started buying silver in 2024 or whatever, ever since it's gotten over $20, especially, even more so now, I guess it would be gloomy if all of a sudden the price dropped dramatically and your plan was to buy low and sell high for the same Federal Reserve notes that it takes to buy it. Uh, I guess that would be gloomy. Um, I know although I wasn't really actively stacking when the prices dropped dramatically after the height of 2011 because I was too busy counting up the money from the stuff I sold. Like it went up sky high almost overnight, and then next thing you know, it's back to reality overnight, just a different night. But yeah, so I don't know the doom and glooms. I do understand that it's really probably kind of difficult to come up with different subjects to talk about. I notice Dub C doesn't seem to have a problem whatsoever, or a spectacular. Many collectors slash stackers on coming up with stuff that doesn't hardly even mention the word spot price. So yeah, but it can be entertaining. Need more tubes like that. So tubes are like the kind holding the poker chips. They were super cheap, or the Eagle tubes, because these things, if you buy just one off of eBay, it might be $5 or $6, or off of a website. But there were some. I bought mine off of an eBay seller this last time. Um, I think it ended up maybe a little over $2 per unit. That didn't seem too absorbent, especially seeing as I would probably spend just as much in gas money to get to a coin shop in Honolulu that I haven't been to yet because I don't want to go down there. It'd be an ordeal. Getting there, parking, security, the whole 9 yards. I thought it was a good deal. Uh, Silver State Stacker, all right. He got a channel going. I think if you click on any avatar, you can go to their channel and subscribe. The links are nice, don't get me wrong, especially Liberty. You're great at that. I'm not sure all that works. Appreciate the invite, please. All right, maybe in a few. I am swamped with work, which is a good thing. So I think Liberty's setting up an interview. If you're watching my channel, most likely you know everybody else that's in the audience. I see B and Becky waved hi to Mandy. There, Mandy's Candy. So I would imagine anybody that is in here knows everybody else or knows of them. But if not, click. If the name doesn't look familiar, click on it. Like Chris in Virginia. Click on Chris in Virginia. Subscribe to his channel. I've been I'm probably the only subscriber on a handful or more of channels. I don't care if they don't produce content. They subscribe to me. I see on one of I think it's YouTube Studio. Oh, new subscriber. Uh, they don't have no subscribers. Oh, guess what? You got one now. Um, I can't imagine anybody being offended by that. But I think you can delete people off of people that subscribe to you. So I'm not sure about that. Excuse me. Probably shouldn't smoke. Um, but it's a 50-plus year habit. Liberty says hi to Mandy. Mandy says hi to everybody. There's Liberty putting out some more. There he goes. There's a link for Chris in Virginia. Thank you, Liberty Bleeds Silver. Oh, I might be caught up. No, I'm not. Silver State Stacker, another great channel. Click on everybody. Even if you don't go back, if you subscribe, if people subscribe to my channel and never come back, I still love them. Great barber. I don't use a barber anymore. I cut my own hair. I've saved so much money in the past. I think I finally cut my hair. I can't remember what year it was, but ever since then, I just went from freak flag to pretty much high and tight. I do get confused for being military, even though I was in the Navy. I don't really count that. So yeah, I am my own barber. Not a very good one either. Silver State Stacker loves that. Let's go for Nevada. Yeah, you're a Nevada guy, person. TKK is coming on. That's very cool. TKK. Sorry, I'm elderly. Senior moments all the time. But I sure need a good haircut. My hair getting long like you. I say let it grow unless you absolutely have to cut it. Or, I got to that point where I look like that old dude that's just trying to hang on. Literally got plenty of hair. Don't cut your hair. Get one of them little twisty thingies and put it in a ponytail. They're in style now. I wouldn't know. Someone's a big Dick Cheney fan. I don't know about that. Does he have fan? Do, I don't. Sounds like things have squashed. Uh-oh. Space Miner was hidden by Silver Sleuth. Oh, did I hide Space Miner? Why did I do that? I don't know how I'm doing that. Hopefully he's back. Adam Crawford. There's a new name. Thank you for joining, Adam. I'm just getting ready to sign off, trying to get through the chat. 18 likes. Woohoo! Yay! Have a good one, y'all. Duty calls. TMI, dude. But thank you, Liberty. Thanks for everything you do, not just for me, but especially for me, but the community. You are a terrific promoter, a great podcaster, livecaster, streamcaster, stratocaster, necromancer, all that stuff. No, you're amazing. Yes. No, I'm not. There he is, still putting more links for other fellow channel peoples. Seven Stacks says, hey, Sleuth in chat. Hey, Seven. Let me see more. Seven. Chow. Okay, it's food time for Liberty. Yep. Bellows Forge, hello, good evening. Were your ears burning? I mentioned your name a few times at the beginning. Showed the prototype. Oh, I don't think you saw that. Where'd it go? Oh. Yeah, I feel bad about Bellows and Bob and Liberty and Steely the Stacker. I'm good. It's going to happen someday, but chances are I'm going to need a forge. Just failing, and it's probably the wind. But this was a prototype. Has nothing to do with Bellows Forge, but since I was failing at recreating a fireplace with a forge in front of it, the bellows. Some other ideas that I had, I went ahead and I thought, well, I'll just make a prototype of a coin type shape. All right. And as a mold. And then so I said, oh, well, let me practice and see what this would look like if I were to be able to actually produce a coin, a round type thing. Well, I wonder, would I be able to stamp it on the sides like this? I don't know, but that'd be cool. 2025. Yeah, limited edition. So worst case scenario, when I do finally figure out how to pour something, it's not going to be very artistic. Probably going to be flat and bland. And I've got a special silver sleuth stamp showing up here soon, and I'll be able to stamp it. And it'll. It's all in lieu of buying stickers. The whole point behind all this was to have a little fun. It looked interesting. It looked a lot easier. But again, my imagination definitely outperforms my talents. And yeah, I'm going to figure that out. So let's go back to staring at this gold eagle while I try to catch up in chat. But Bellows, check out Bellows's, if you're still here, if he's still, even if he's not here, go check his channel. He just recently started to produce content, and he's got a series of three videos, nothing but giveaway winnings. And on top of that, so you see all these different pieces of medals that he's won on giveaways, but also some index cards showing, oh yeah, can't show you a picture of this one. I won it, but I bequeathed it to somebody else. That's pretty cool. Something like 37 giveaway wins in 3 months of practicing winning. I'd say that's a winner. So that's 12 a month. That's pretty strong and fun. B. Taylor, hello. Uh, it's possible that if you subscribe to my channel, you might not be subscribed to B. Taylor, but B. Taylor has quite the following. I mean, some of our, the old school type channel creators and stackers on these channels speak very, very highly of B. Taylor, as I do as well. So click on his avatar. I think you can go directly to his channel, hit subscribe real quick, and come back. OC Stacker made it. Hello, OC. Thank you. Love your avatar. It looks tropical from here. There we go. Let's see. Dub C made it. Wow. How about, yes, you did hear your name, Dub C, a couple times. You are the go-to guy. Uh, matter of fact, you with the counterfeiting, you know about that. That was super cool. Then you have a lot more history and facts, and you delivered in a very professional, like radio voice. And the Navajo, your branding is on point. And you provide a very valuable service to anybody that clicks on your channel, because then they can go on your past videos and playlists and stuff, and pretty much spend a little bit of time, over a little bit of time, and walk away with, at the very least, a bachelor's degree in all different kinds of stuff. Is that this is the half ounce, I think. Let's concentrate on the back, see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, that's a half ounce. This was just at the beginning of the video. This is was just my recent pickups. I sandbagged November, December's, and January's budget, and this is just one of them. I got this. I got three things from the Intaglia mint. A really cool token. I found that was actually free, other than the labor it took for me to get to it. So a couple other things. A quarter ounce, two different pawn shops. That was cool. Yeah, it's pretty easy math. Gold will eat up a very modest monthly budget for precious metals really fast. But I had, for whatever reason, I'd kind of already, I didn't get my fill of buying online, but I got something from JM, SD, Monument Metals, Summit Metals. Another one that it turned out I didn't get hurt on it, but I'm not crazy about their follow-up. I forget their name. A few, just to experience and make a video someday about it, possibly. But yeah, so this is the half. I do have some ounces, but not nearly as many as 1 ounce gold eagles as I have of 10th ounce. 10th is my go-to um, gold coin. And I know there's a premium. I know, oh, you're paying $3,000 an ounce. I don't care. The satisfaction and the confidence that it gives me um, to have it is worth the extra $30 or whatever you might have to pay for something. And again, I didn't even notice premiums back then. I probably was paying a little bit higher than melt back in 1998 till 2010 or whatever, when I did the bulk of my gold purchasing, especially in 98, 99. But I didn't know. I knew they were a little bit more expensive by the ounce, but it wasn't astronomical. I don't ever recall hearing the word premiums, and I was always under the impression that it cost more to make the smaller coin. So, yeah. And I knew, I just figured the coin shop's got to, I want that coin shop to stay in business until I'm done buying at the very least. So that never bothered me. But nowadays in 2024 and 2025, you can save a chunk of money by buying it by the ounce, unless you watch like World Money Wins. Somebody else does a fractional exercise where they buy once a month to buy a gram or a tenth of an ounce. World Money Wins did it with everything. I don't think he did it with half ounces, but he did it with quarters, tenths, and grams. And it, to me, what I derive from all that research and chart filling and paper bookkeeping is buy what you can when you can and where you can while you still can with what you got, um, while you still can, without neglecting other priorities, obligations, and investments. Stack that gold. Hello, stack that gold. Man, I'm so glad that you are active again. When I type your name in the chat, I try to make it sound like you're at the very end of your videos. I think you still do. Stack that gold. There's a little pause between that and gold. I try to recreate that. Uh, Chris in Virginia, no channel here. I think you can still accept subscribers. But that's okay, Chris. There were people, and there might still be people in this chat at this very moment that for weeks hung out, chatted, said hi, very polite, had no, I don't know if they had aspirations to produce any content, but eventually they did. Bellows Forge is a perfect example. He's been around probably longer than me on these channels, and I haven't been on that long, but all of a sudden he's doing really well with his videos. Again, it's worth the visit to, at the very least, right now, after this is done, or even whenever, to go check out his 3-video series of giveaways. It's fascinating. And you're going to learn that Bellows Forge is a pretty cool guy, very generous, very polite. Back at you, Bellows Forge. Okay, popping in, show some thank you. Legion Steel Knives, thank you very much. Popping in to show some support. I love it. I love it, brah. I do that. Sometimes I'll just get in and hit the like, and the conversation seems to be either intense or definitely focused, and almost feel like interrupting when I chat. When I type something in the chat. So a lot of times I'll just silently hit the like button. Some At most I'll say stopping by to hit the like button and tickle your algorithm. Auto spells algorithm funky. Legion Steel Knives, I'm flattered. Thank you very much, sir. Thule. Wow. Thank you so much. I don't know if you've ever been to one of my very few lives, but I sure appreciate kind of I'd say stacking channel community VIP star. Definitely one of the very popular moderator, especially for some of the big channels. So yeah, Tule's got a really cool channel. Just got super talented, really high techy too. Thank you for coming in, Thule. And I'm still under the impression that occasionally Thule tees it up and hits the white ball around the golf course every so often. I like that. I used to play golf. Uh, so Chris in Virginia is still here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bellows Forge. I don't know what looks awesome, but I hope you were talking about my very weak effort at trying to figure out. But I'm going to hook you up, bro. Trust me. I'm going to have to get me a forge. See that crazy is what for sale? Not sure I have anything anybody would want to buy. I have all generic stuff. I have generic eagles, whether they're gold or silver. I got some generic proofs. Nobody seems to like those. Um I just don't see a whole lot of eagle action, but I'm mostly eagle stuff. But I am thinking about downsizing off of the big boxy COA proofs. Some of the sets that I've got. I've got a like a 20th 2006 anniversary Eagle set. I got a couple of them. One of them still gift wrapped from the mint. And then the 5 years preceding that, I think it was a three. Yeah, it was a three Eagle set. I'm thinking about it. Mostly the proofs. The proofs do take up a lot of space. Matter of fact, this box here, I finally found something convenient to put them in. And some of those are burnished. Um, I saw and a Daniel Carr proof from, I forget what year they didn't make a proof. But yeah, they just look at all that space. Do you know how many these things could fit in this gizmo? Too much. I wouldn't be able to carry it, I don't think. I switched recently for those two ammo boxes. Can you imagine that? After a 25-year uh, goal of filling up a monster box with a bunch of Lucy's, at the end, when I'd had to try to move it, and this was before my heart attack and way before my back injury, I realized, so this is not practical whatsoever. Um, so yeah, so I don't know what's for sale. Uh, Pure Metals, hello, Nash, what's up? Hey, I understand about the Discord stuff, and I have tried a couple times, but I failed at even turning the thing on. I thought I had it on my phone, but apparently it might be on that fancy laptop, which hates me, but it's going good, Pierre. I'm trying to help people get to sleep. I am the Insomnia Cure channel. Um, so Bellows says hi to Pierre, but uh, Pierre, Nash, Pierre Metals, congratulations on quite the splash that you've made in the community. Your idea is ingenious, smart. I personally can tell or feel all the work and hours and typing. Oh my gosh, that's had to have been so tedious. But I feel like you love it. And they say if you love your job, it's not a job. I don't know what you appreciate, B. Taylor. If it's me saying that I like you and your channel's worth going to, you're welcome, sir. But I'm not. I'm not. I tell the truth. And your comments are uh, pretty spot on and funny. Clever. How's that? Clever's a better word. Stacking man's rabbit hole. Wow. Uh, Thank you, sir. I know I'm subscribed to everybody, but if not, I will remedy that soon. What part of Hawaii am I in? I'm on Oahu. You were here many years ago when a friend was stationed in the Navy. I got here via Uncle Sam in the Navy, and yeah, it's I don't know what year you were here. I've been back since 2017. I've been back and forth since 1979 when I married my local Hawaiian, Chinese, Portuguese, Japanese wife. Um, she carries more of the Chinese. Out here, they call Chinese pake. But thank you so much, Stacker Man's Rabbit Hole. That's a cool name. Funny. Uh, I don't know why that. Do you remember there was a book called Watership Down? Uh, for some reason, when I read your name, not just here, but in other chats and stuff, it makes me think of Fiverr. He was the star, the protagonist of that novel. OC Stacker says hello to Tully Tully. Wow. Look at all these comments. Thank you so much. Just making sure, just to let you know who loves the sound of his own voice. Just a know-it-all who's, well, man, if my voice was like yours, I'd probably talk more to myself out loud as opposed to into my head. Um, but I'd say that's you could put that on your business card. Just a know-it-all who loves the sound of his own voice. Um, I'm in that club. I'm not the know-it-all, and I don't presume that you know it all, but you sure know a heck of a lot of it, yeah. Uh, Especially when it comes to precious metals and collecting, and oh, this is amazing. One of Probably one of the besides the camaraderie of stacking channels, and the actual human part of it. I really I like being able to talk about gold and silver. I'm over the embarrassment of being an SHTF stacker from the beginning. Not that I'm still not, but as I've gotten older, that's become less and less important to me. Way less of a motivation, that's for sure. Now it's either habit or addiction or could possibly be greed. But I won't find out until 2029 unless some event gets in the way and causes me to pay attention to what this stuff's value really is at that time. So everybody's still saying hi to everybody. I'm looking for any new names. Stack that gold. He's still here. Yay. See, how's your platform? Okay, asking the Pure Metals. I think it's coming along really good. I mean, Pure did I'd call it a live, but he was a guest with, I think, Blue Collar and Liberty and Vegas Stacker. They had like a multi-podcast thingy. And so Pure Metals, Nash, aka Nash, he was describing stuff, and they were talking about different things. And there was somebody, he mentioned a name, I forget, kind of felt like working in the background, probably a different place, a remote place, changing stuff about adding new stuff to the website as Nash was participating in the live podcast thing. It was super cool. Maybe that's not what was going on, but to me that's what it seemed like, that he was actually working on it. You're welcome, Bellows Forge. You deserve it. Um, Plus, you're kind of famous, now. It's funny. Uh, Let me see. So, don't know how that got. I didn't retract the message from Thule. He's behind. Yes, I am behind in the chat, but I think I'm caught up. Okay, Silver Sleuth, so cool. I was 27 when I visited, and I'm 50 something now. Hawaii sure is beautiful and great experience to visit. I agree with you, Stacker Man's Rabbit Hole. I I've just been up and down on the whole emotional roller coaster of living in Hawaii as a non-local. I have the advantage that I've been practicing since 1979. Another advantage I have is, I married into a local family, and that never hurts. But I still remember when I wasn't allowed to go inside certain parties because either Auntie Josephine or some other uncle or auntie was inside, one of the elders, um, kupuna, that just did not like me. They did never saw me, never met me, but they heard that I was not local, and yeah, so I knew early not to rock the boat. But other than that, Hawaii itself is beautiful. It has changed a lot over the last 46 some odd years since I've been coming here. Um, but what place hasn't? Except my itsy bitsy town that I grew up in. It hasn't changed much. Um, Let me see. So you're drawing a blank. Your friend served on a. Oh, thank you, Dubsy. Um, I'm drawing a blank. My friend served on a smaller ship that wasn't named after a state. Yeah, I served on a ship that wasn't named after state. We weren't too big of a boat, maybe 350 people. It was a guided missile destroyer. Um, Oldest Sherman class destroyer left in the fleet from who knows when, definitely at least the Korean War, but maybe possibly before then, had been converted to a guided missile destroyer somewhere along the way. Um, yeah, good times. Uh, I'm drawing a blank, my friend. Okay, we did that already. Catching up now. Yes, thank you, Chris. Very intriguing. Stackers may have it wrong. All right. Well, is there anything anybody else wants me to talk about? I think I've covered everything. Um, well, I am trying to put people to sleep, so don't be offended if you start snoring. Uh, but poker chips, channel poker chips, I got all kinds in there. I can't think of anything else that I was even worth talking about. Oh, I tell you, what's aggravating is finding little itsy bitsy coins that are kind of grody, that even with a loop, it's really hard to figure out what they are. Now, obviously, that's 10 cents, some kind of 10 cents. I don't think this is a United States coin, but it definitely looks like maybe it was produced in the United States, but the other side is just so grody, and I'd call that tarnished or toned or grimied up. Um, but yeah, I finding stuff is cool. Let me see what else I got. Got nothing else. I did find my old reliable magnifier that comes in handy. It's a little more convenient than one of these things. This is handy dandy. This was my dad's loop that he used as a draftsman. He was a mechanical engineer. Ended up teaching it in college without a college degree at the end of his working career. Uh, I didn't see what's in here. I don't know what's in there. I just a bunch of silver stuff. Generic. Oh, there's a nice coin. There's a Krugerrand we can stare at for a little while. Uh, I guess, I don't know, silver Krugerrands, and this does look like it's got a little bit of milkiness to it, but it could be the flip. But I don't know. It's a pretty decent looking coin. Fine silver. Um, so yeah, these are neat. South Africa. Boy, that guy's got a killer beard. Looks like he got some Amish in him. But that's neat. So yeah, since I met you folks, I've actually purchased non-eagles. Um, this is all since I've met you folks. I eventually went through a little buffalo phase. Oh, I know what this was. This was one of those introductory. Oh, you're a new customer. Here, well, if you get this much X amount, you can get it at spot, or whatever deal they're offering. I've got one of these, but I also got a half ounce like this from either Liberty Bleeds Silver or Captain Bloody. Um, Golden State Mint. I've gotten this since I met you folks, but I have a bunch of Golden State Mint stuff stashed. I remember I've given some of them away as swag, channel swag, but they have some really neat 10th ounce coins, um, similar to this. Let me see if it doesn't have the Incusivania. I think it looks more like a little mini Liberty, and on the back is the weedy part of a penny, a cent. The Golden State Mint, I like their stuff. Pretty cool. Anything interesting? I have nothing interesting. These are those Littleton containers. Boy, they were. Oh my gosh, what a racket! But I think it looks better with a silver sleuth chip than it does with the whatchamacallit, eagle. This was a pretty interesting buffalo generic round. So see, I'm not all eagles. I can diversify, especially if there's some kind of video that I just watched and said, wow, that's cool. I want one. I'm pretty sure this was probably inspired by Liberty Bleeds Silver and Pirate Stacker. kind of neat. I didn't purchase directly from AppMex, but it came in an AppMex bag. More buffaloes. What are these? These are. I don't have any hardly any vintage anything. And I mean, what is vintage? Does anybody know? Is that from 30 plus years old? I remember when I used to be in the antique business, a lot of the furniture snobs, the dealers, they looked down their nose at oak because it wasn't 100 years old. Well, it is now. Uh, so this is some pretty neat stuff. 2010. I would not consider that vintage until I remember. Oh, it's 2025, and I'm pretty sure these are modern because they do not have a date above the R in Liberty Silver, the second R. I learned that from Liberty Bleeds and all you other folks. Now here's a PAMP product that's kind of milky. Freedom. But it is kind of amazing how all these different artists and engravers can memorialize the bison in many different designs and ways. But yeah, so I'm not just all eagle. I do like the Scottsdale mint. They got some pretty cool stuff. I especially like the back of that. I don't know if this even has a year on it. It's definitely not vintage. I wouldn't consider vintage. But if I live long enough, maybe it'll turn into vintage. Hard to tell. There's a different looking coin, minted in the USA. It's a nice looking eagle. I don't know what words written down there. Cannot tell. Let me see. What is it? Okay, so it does have some kind of identifier. Buy gold and silver coins. 1 troy ounce, fine silver. I don't know, but I would imagine if it's anywhere on the coin it says .com, I would say that not vintage. Oh, here's a cute little. I think this is a Canadian coin. I hope it's right side up. Because if who would put a bird flying upside down on a coin? Yeah, that says. That's pretty neat. I'm thinking. Oh, there it is, Canada. 1867 to 1967. So this might be a commemorative 1 cent there. I did actually can read. Um, I would imagine that's the same Queen Elizabeth, wouldn't it be? Yeah. Is that the second Elizabeth II? Boy, wow, she's on a lot of coins, yeah. Way more than Charles will ever be on, I think. I don't know, and I'm sure they weren't competing, but yeah. So yeah, that's it. Anybody still awake? You want me to sing you to sleep? I don't know any lullabies. The only lullaby I know is from the Beatles' White Album, I think, and Ringo sang it. I don't know if I doubt if it was the hit. So this is not political. I am I'm a registered political agnostic, but that's not a bad rendition of President Donald J. Trump. But the commemorative part of it is kind of cool. That's a little bit of artwork going on in there. Number 47. For some reason, that number looks a little off to me. January 20th, 2025. We will find out. I think we're finding out, depending on your opinion, on whether that was good news or bad news. But the price was definitely right. And other than the $100 gold bill that Liberty gifted me, this is the only Donald J. Trump paraphernalia that I have, memorabilia. That's it. That is it. Good. Well, what can we stare at while I'm trying to put people to sleep? Oh, here, Bellows, if you're still here. If you're not, this is for anybody that is. Um, this is that quarter. It did not come in this capsule, but one thing, if I can focus it in, you'll see that it is a Roman numeral. I'm not a big fan of the Roman numeral ones. They're earlier, but this is a little darker than the half ounce that I got. I don't know what causes that other than, I guess how it's stored. I could probably write the book on how to not store things properly. But okay, so we got some new chat. Let me see. Catching now. I did that. Okay, very intriguing. Netherlands, 10 cents struck in Denver. See what I mean? Are you talking about that little itsy bitsy, really grody, super scabby coin? Let's just say Netherlands. Wow. I tell you, it's kind of amazing how all the places that some of these, there it is, some of these coins go, end up in. So if this is the one that he's talking about, and it's Netherlands, wow, how could you? You can probably tell from the back. It's a walking encyclopedia with a good radio voice. Um, but how in the, it's just amazing. How did this end up in Hawaii? Neat. I'm sure back then no one ever would have dreamt of that. So let me focus on this and get caught up in chat. Uh, oh, one more. Oh, I got another question, Silver Sleuth. I've seen your poker chips that say 97 or 90. Do you have any roots in dairy there? I have roots in dairy farming in Minnesota. Actually, do have dairy roots. My uh, my father's mother worked at a dairy in Ohio, but for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it. I do remember when I did remember the name of it, or probably had it written down, trying to find a, a milk bottle or any memorabilia regarding whatever the dairy's name was, just out of a nostalgic collectible type thing. I ran into milk bottles all the time and soda bottles and tonic bottles. And I never went to the town dump to look for uh, bottles or marbles or pottery or anything like that. But um, there were people that did that, and you'd find their stuff at flea markets and trading days and antique malls and places like that. So there's the front. And then, so this might be what my my poker chip was, a little bit of a play on uh, the idea of milk spotting. I didn't know about milk spotting until I saw you folks online, dug up a bunch of stuff, and I knew I had Canadian maples and Philharmonics, and of course I knew I had Eagles, and so yeah, milk spots. I was trying to promote Milk Spot Premium. It's a authenticator. Um, but so poker chips is saying that, yeah, whole milk. Uh, but yet, so no, I don't. Other than my grandmother, and that could have been a story. That's something my dad told me. I never really saw any true evidence of it, although his brother confirmed it. But those guys were born in the early 20s. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Whole milk is 90%. Oh, that's okay. Uh, Ironically, I don't drink milk. I don't hardly consume any milk in milk form. I do a yogurt, a Greek yogurt. I guess it's organic, but all it's in there is pasteurized milk and all the different acidophilus stuff that's in there. I use it as all kinds of stuff, kind of like a fake sour cream, a fake mayonnaise. Um, I treat myself to frozen berries, blueberries, blackberries, and then I'll put some of that yogurt. It's a milk product, and a banana and a little bit of honey and maybe some hemp herds as a dessert type thing. Probably an ice cream replacement. Steve, aka Fish, thank you for showing up, sir. Um, your fitness series is doing rather well, I see. Good for you. Don't rush it. This is just an older dude that used to work out. And once I found out that as I got older, injuries are harder to come back from. Uh, yeah, I was a weightlifting kind of a freak for a while. I wasn't a bodybuilder. I was just lifting for strength. We used to push cars in the parking lot. Um, I would lift for max every so often, but I was more into reps. I was more into the fitness part of it as opposed to the bulky part of it. Um, Kind of an addiction. Working out can definitely be an addiction. Yeah. A matter of fact, the last time I lifted a true weight, a barbell, I think the bar itself weighs 45 pounds. I don't know. I'm working on a really old memory, and you got 45-pound plates, I think. But yeah, I just moved back to Hawaii. They didn't have a cambered bar. I was doing shrugs. I used to do my shrugs on a bench with a cambered bar, so it was just way more sturdy. And I was using a slanted, bar barrel holder, and warmed up and everything like you're supposed to. Worked my way up, and I don't know what weight it was that I heard something rip. Now, did I stop? No. I gingerly got the weight onto the rack, did kind of some wincing around, a little bit of stretching. So, oh man, I better, take off a couple 45s, ripped it again, did it again, and haven't really done any serious weightlifting since then. I was in such misery. I went to, a regular, I don't know, who's the bone people, a real doctor, MD, uh, tried went to an acupuncture, not acupuncture, a chiropractor, and he couldn't even move me. I was in such poor shape. And eventually, miraculously, he was a MD, certified doctor, but he was also an acupuncturist. His name was Cyrus Wu. He's probably dead. This was back in the early 80s, mid 80s. And he was kind of famous for what he called the Lu point. Now, this has nothing to do with back injuries, but he did acupuncture. He connected the needles to wires and, ran a little electrical charge through you. But his big claim to fame was he 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 didn't advertise. I don't know. He put it out there that he could cure herpes. Now, see, you got to remember, in the mid '80s, herpes was kind of some serious stuff. This is before all this other stuff, and I'm not saying it's not serious. And I didn't need his help for that. But he was also famous for treating famous people, like Buddy Hackett. Anybody remember that name? Oh, incline benches. Yeah, yeah. And that. Yeah, that was wow. That's 40 years ago. So yeah. Um, but I'm in therapy right now, physical therapy, and I'm okay with using body weight. Before I get to Charles Atlas, don't let me forget to mention that. Remember that name. But so Buddy Hackett was a comedian, used to be on the Johnny Carson show, Tonight Show, all different kinds, maybe even some movies. I'm sure some movies. Pretty famous comedian back in the I'd say 50s and 60s, early 70s, and but probably more famous was there, believe it or not, University of Hawaii football. They were the Fighting Rainbow Warriors back then, I think. They had a huge rivalry with Brigham Young University. Where that rivalry came from, other than they were in the same league, I think it was called the Pac something something West. I don't know, but Jim McMahon was quarterback, and this year that he'd throw for 500 yards in one game, many games. I don't know if he won the Heisman or anything like that, but right before the big game, and they were coming here to play. BYU was coming here, so it was a home game for University of Hawaii, which back then was still being held in Aloha Stadium, which is no longer used as a stadium. But a big political controversy. But so apparently Jim Young was hurt so bad there was a lot of talk that he wasn't going to play, and that gave all these football fans such great hopes, and which were just shattered after uh, Jim McMahon visited the same Dr. Wu, Cyrus Wu, got some kind of fancy acupuncture with electricity zaps treatment. And not only did he play, he started, and I think he passed for like 500 or 600 yards that game. I don't know. totally demolished and demoralized everybody in the stadium that wasn't wearing blue and white. Uh, Keep moving, never stop. Yeah, body weight is good. Motion is lotion. Anyway, so Charles Atlas. I don't know if you guys remember Charles Atlas before gymnasiums or World Gym or anything like that. There was, and they used to advertise in the back of comic books, I think. But it was called isometrics, and isometrics is a real thing. And I mean, I would recommend that to a senior citizen such as myself who's considering on getting a little bit of tone back that they lost over the last 3.5 or 4 months after a back injury. So, but I'm a smoker. I used to smoke before, while I was tying my shoes, getting ready to stretch before I would go for a 5K or 10K run. Uh, Smoke when I was done. Just I was a physical fitness freak for a while, um, until I hurt myself, and then I found golf. And at that time, the adage was weightlifting would not be good for golf, and that was fine with me because I didn't ever envision myself doing it again. So I'm more of an aerobic with a little bit of anaerobic involved. Push ups, old fashioned wide grip pull ups, um, core exercises, stretching, typical, probably not typical elderly exercising stuff, but pre elderly exercising. But it's good. And I think it's a healthy hobby. I think the dedication to work out, on a regularly scheduled basis, I think that kind of discipline bleeds into other parts of our lives. So people are still awake. I kind of planned this between when the girls were going to be gone, senior shopping day, grocery shopping, and I figured it was probably around bedtime for people on the Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which is 5 hours ahead of me. Now, as far as Liberty's up at all hours, days and nights. He's got lives at 4 in the morning, my 4 in my morning. So I guess that'd be anywhere from 7 to 9 for everybody else's, or 7 to 10. And then again, just no rhyme or reason. It's just be there, and it's nice, good fun. Close to bedtime, B. Thank you, bro. That's funny. Um, so I'm trying to see. Oh my gosh, I'm running up on 2 hours. So I think it's shortly after 10 p.m. East Coast right now. I believe it or not. I'm not sure. Let me check out my fancy. Oops. Check out my. Uh-oh. What happened? There we go. Let me see. What time is it? 5:10 plus 5. Yeah, it's 10:10 p.m. Eastern, um, daylight savings time. We don't do the spring forward fallback here. It's I think that's outdated science to utilize that. I remember when it first started happening. Nobody back then that I recall had anything good to say about it, except maybe school bus drivers. I forget. 8:10 for you in Utah. I have a cousin, first cousin. She's the oldest of 12 children, no twins. My Uncle Rich's daughter, Ann, did her Catholic nurse tour, I think 20 plus years in Utah. And she used to kind of kid about how the Mormons would try to recruit her, recruit her away from the Catholic Church. I am non-denominational. I'm a believer. I'm a Bible believer. I'm washed in the blood of Christ. I don't proselytize about it, but I'm not afraid to witness when I get a chance. That in '89. Well, you're putting my Roman numeral, it's definitely something 9. So yeah, it would have to be an 89 because I think by 99, reconnecting, I'm live again. Yeah, I do believe that's an 89. Boy, it's really hard to see. See, yeah, well, it'd have to be. They didn't start making them until 86, I think and that definitely ends in 9. So yeah, I would imagine it's an 89. That's why I don't like this Roman numeral thing. For a while, that's all I was finding. Not so. That was in 98. So yeah, they were still making them, but ran into a lot of the Roman numerals. I didn't really care, and I don't really care. Um, but it's kind of interesting. Why would they start it like that and then not just keep it going? Probably it costs more to put all those letters in there than it does 4 numerals. Yeah, they are kind of cool. I like I like the type 2 gold eagles. I think they have do they have a type 2 gold? Yeah, I think so. It's a different eagle on the back. It's like an eagle's head, maybe a little bit of his shoulder or something. I do not have any of those. Um, had this been that, I don't know if it would have, if a premium would have been added, but I still would have gotten it. I still want a Type 2 Eagle of some sort. I imagine I'll end up getting it off of the line of some store, probably Summit. Summit does, I think, consistently have a pretty decent deal on 1/10 ounce gold Eagles. Okay, Stacker Man, thanks, bro. Good night at Stacker Man's Rabbit Hole. Thank you so much. And Steve, aka Fish, you too. Um, you are really on the right track, I think, um, with your fitness goals. Um, it's nice that you have access to dumbbells too. I prefer dumbbell work over or did prefer dumbbell work over barbell work. I used to do hammers. We call them hammers. It's basically it's bicep curls, but there's it's almost on the way up and then on the way down you turn your wrist as if you were hammering onto something. It's kind of cool. Okay, that's cool, Steve, aka Fish. I think I know you well enough. I can just call you by your last name, Fish. Um, but yeah, I tell you, I used to love working out. I did not like. I forget when it started happening. When the steroids started showing up, in the locker rooms and stuff like that. I knew the guy. Actually, I went to this place called. It wasn't Gold's Gym. I forget the name of it, but the owner just all. I mean, his seemed like his muscles exploded, and I noticed a lot of guys were just getting really, you know, kind of unnaturally big and way more striated. Now these guys were bodybuilders and I wasn't, but we all use the same equipment. But yeah, that was a little distressing to me. Uh, Not that I would ever consider it. I wouldn't have to worry about it. I wouldn't have to worry about thinking that it might be cheating for some bodybuilding contest or anything like that. But I remember kind of being concerned, if thinking that, wow, is it worth that? Is that worth that? And maybe it is. Maybe it has been. I do think that like someone like Barry Bonds or any of the Manny Ramirez, why are they not in the Hall of Fame? Because of either alleged or proven steroid use? I don't know. I don't think steroids made Barry Bonds' swing any sweeter than it was when he was, kind of a skinny guy when he first showed up. Hammer curls, yes, they are. They were good. They were very popular and pretty easy. Um, I didn't lift for max very often. I lift for, yeah, Bonds was awesome. I lifted for strength and toning. So I think I ended up before I had to stop. I was 2 and a quarter, 20 times bench press. real bench press, not the bouncy kind. I think that was my. I think that started out as a goal, and eventually I reached that goal. And I don't know if I ever did a max more than maybe less than 300 pounds. I don't think I ever tried to bench press over 300 pounds. Yeah, two and a quarter times 20 was kind of a bar that a lot of, especially the football players, not they weren't bodybuilders, although they looked like they could be bodybuilders. But the football players, the former college guys, or we had even had some college kids, and high school kids come in there and work. And so, yeah, two and a quarter times 20 was just seemed kind of be a thing for a while there. If you could join that club, uh, you didn't win nothing, but it was impressive. Uh, but different body types react differently to all the exercises. So an ectomorph versus an endomorph, they could follow the same, and if you follow the same routines, and their bodies are gonna, the results I think are gonna show up differently depending on the body type. Um, I somewhere between, I'd, probably officially an ectomorph when I started, but lifting weights helps as long, and but I kept running. Kept working my legs. I did do leg presses, but mostly just for strength to enhance any running that I might be doing. But running for me, was an easy way to hurt myself because I kept trying to, improve on my times and uh, trying various different techniques, intermittent sprinting and things like that to kind of push myself. And then you pull up lame, and then you end up falling way behind. So I just eventually I just settled into the slow and steady, just like running, LSD, long slow distance. That's what I ended up doing. So Alex Hardy joins the chat. Thank you, Alex. Thanks for stopping by. Says he went to prep school with Matt Butkus, son of Dick. Wow, he has an anti-steroids education fund program. That's neat. That's cool. Yeah, Dick Butkus. I'm old, so I was born in '59. Dick Butkus was the man. Kind of a little crazy on the football field, but yeah, that's interesting. I grew up around Ohio State football pretty much my whole life, until I became an adult because I couldn't wait to get out of Ohio. But yeah, I've met quite a few, I would say, famous football players, especially Ohio State. I've met Archie Griffin numerous times. There was a linebacker. Oh my gosh, they all end up going for Andy Katzenmoyer, um, Braxton Miller, all different kinds of names. I never got to meet Maurice Clarett, who might be one of my my favorite Ohio State football Buckeyes. Um, he got a bad rap for some stuff. I don't know. It had something to do with schoolwork, or I don't think he was involved in Tattoo Gate or anything like that. But yeah, Dick Butkus was the man. Actually, I never collected football cards, but a bunch of the guys, when I was a kid, they did. And he was a very popular card to get. He was kind of, I'd say, hero status, uh, which was hard to do because back then, you didn't, it wasn't like you could, oh, hey, are the Bears playing? And you can flick around or touch buttons on your phone and find the game or a replay of the game. It wasn't like that. Football was, eventually they had Monday Night Football, but footballs were Sunday, and I think two games max. I don't remember, but you know, sports on TV back then was basically Wide World of Sports. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Really tough. Most of my sports was via radio. So Bellows Forest says he has some rookie cards from the late 80s to 90s, like Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., Mark McGwire, Frank Thomas, Darryl Strawberry, former Yankee, etc. I want to try to sell them and buy silver with my proceeds. Bellows, I don't disagree with that idea at all. Um, I I never really got into the collecting part so much as back in the late '60s. I would, because I think a pack of baseball cards, I think it was a nickel, and it came with a really cool, nice, delicious piece of bubble gum. But I was mostly searching for Mickey Mantle, almost any Yankee, but especially Mickey Mantle. And then he retired in March of '69. So uh, wouldn't by the time I got into collecting Mickey Mantles, I was able to get in onto the 67, 68, 69 years. Even the checklist. If it had Mickey's name or picture on it, I gravitated towards them. Eventually, all those cards either got destroyed by renters in the past or stolen. And I did manage to find some that I had stashed in a G.I. Joe footlocker. And I did really well with those at my estate auction. And I think I kept one. I have a Mickey Mantle, a '69 Mantle, around here somewhere. Um, Tattoo Gate would have been a great gate to be involved in. But I forget what the controversy was. I think they were trading their gifts for being on the team or attaining varsity status or winning, beating Michigan. I think if you beat Michigan, they gave the players, and I think they gave the whole team, um, and probably even the trainers and stuff. Maybe I don't know. Probably it was probably 14 karat um, charm that would hang on a necklace. I'm trying to think what. It wasn't a golden football. I forget what it was. Some football related object. And so apparently they traded them and other memorabilia and swag that they would get from certain championships or bowls. Maybe they even sold their varsity award or traded their varsity award ring. From the sounds of it, they got the short end of the deal. Although I do understand that tattoos can be quite expensive, but uh, just the sentimental value alone. Oh, I think they were pants, like football pants. A charm. Uh, but I think they got the short end of the stick, and obviously from the fallout from it, yeah, that didn't help. I think it ended Jim Tressel's career as a coach at Ohio State, at the very least. Ken Griffey Jr. He was a natural, and I'll say I remember his dad, Ken Griffey, I guess senior, when he was a Cincinnati Red. Officially, I was a Yankee fan. I had no choice. I had two older brothers. One almost 7 years older than me, and the other one 14 years older than me. That it would have been dangerous to be a non-Yankee fan, but I was a closet Reds fan because I could pick up the Reds games on the radio. Whereas, the only time you ever saw the Yankees or anything on was, you know, the end of the season when they were probably in the World Series. Um, Let me see. My favorite from back in the day was when the NFL would have had the fastest man in the NFL contest. Yeah. Oh man, I had it in my brain. He played for the Cowboys. He was a receiver. He was supposedly the fastest human alive. What was his name? I forget. It really is horrible getting old. So Bellows says he found a new app called Colex. It scans the sports cards and gives you the value of them. Wow, I think you can also use the app to buy and sell your cards. Wow, man, I tell you, the technology nowadays. Wow. And regarding that kind of technology, this YouTube and eBay and all the information that's out there, I'm pretty convinced had I started stacking in that type of environment, it's it's quite possible that I wouldn't have a shit ton of silver American Eagles. But it is what it is. I don't think I'm hurt, um, and especially I look at everything except for fancy stuff like these proofs. I did think there might be a chance that these things might increase in value someday. But in the same token, I struggled with it. This was the collection addiction. Um, I didn't think that they would mean anything in a SHTF or catastrophic world or national event situation. Let's see, so Bellows says Ken Griffey Jr. is my favorite player. I got at least 20 different cards in him. He's definitely one of the best players in that era. Yeah, he's probably in the Hall of Fame, I would think. He's been retired long enough. I do not ever recall a single controversy regarding Ken Griffey Jr. He just seemed like the all-American, all good old all-American guy next door. I could be wrong. It's like I never had a great opinion of Rickey Henderson as an opponent. Now, once he became a Yankee, hey, I liked the guy. But I'd heard, again, I don't know where I heard this. There was no internet back then, but I heard that he was just an exceptionally nice human being and really loved his family so much. And he had, I think, some kids, some children, and just was kind of well known within the ranks of other major league players as being such a stand-up father and human. Now, I'd heard where he was a little picky about whose child he would take a picture with or whatever. I didn't pay attention to that stuff. Art Monk, Washington Redskins, I'm going to say. Pretty sure Art Monk was a Redskin, which is now the Generals, but might be the Redskins again. I don't know. Yeah, baseball cards are cool. I think there's a little bit of a crossover between sports cards collectors and silver and gold stackers, stackers and collectors. A little bit, not as much as prepping, not as much as pew pew, because that makes sense to me. When I think of stacking gold and silver to preserve our wealth, keep it out of the system, air quotes around system. To me, it's a natural. To me, sardines and silver go together, just like peas and carrots. Yep, big skins. Yep, big skins fan. I'm trying to think of the names I remember from back when I followed professional football. Sonny Jurgensen, that rings a bell. I think he was a Redskin, possibly. Could have been a Viking. I forget. Um, what else did they have? Now, if it was a famous Buckeye that went to the Redskins, I'd probably remember that. And it's possible that some of these names I remember from. Does anybody remember? I know everybody's heard of Nintendo, and I didn't play much video games, but for a while there, I had some friends. They were just totally addicted to this a game called Tecmo Bowl, and then they come out with an improved version of it called Super Tecmo Bowl. And these guys would play for all hours of the night after a long shift and just oh my gosh, and it was kind of fun. I was horrible at it, but it was kind of fun. But there were a lot of names mentioned, and then that would make me remember back, in the late '60s when I kind of followed, sports stars and stuff like that. But I could probably Wilbur Marshall. I do not recognize that name. Otto, Jim Otto, or yeah, Jim Otto. Is that right? Oh, I remember the name Jim Otto. There was also he was either a fullback or a linebacker. But yeah, that name rings a bell. I think it was Jim Otto. Um, there was a running back. He was a fullback during Archie Griffin's time. His name was John Brockington. I think he went to the Packers. I don't think. Well, Archie didn't have a great NFL career, uh, but I think John Brockington did pretty well for the Packers. And I think Jim Otto, if I'm remembering correctly, I think he had a really good NFL career as well. Whether he's in the Hall of Fame or not, I don't know. But what a cool name! Otto was the. Do you remember Beetle Bailey comic? The sergeant's dog's name was Otto. That was cool. All right, Fish. Thank you, sir. Keep up the great work. Um, do all the right things that I know you're supposed to do, like stretching and cool down and all that kind of stuff. And keep on keeping on. Work your plan your work and work your plan. Um, the days go fast. Bellows Forge says farewell to Steve, also known as Fish. Um, so besides the working out and the precious metals and having that in common with Steve, aka Fish, he's also pretty spiritual as well, and I appreciate that. Um, it's good stuff. So, wow, my gosh, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and you folks are still awake. I know Bellows is awake. Chris in Virginia, um, he might be awake. You're supposed to go to sleep. This is an insomnia cure session. It's either AMSR or ASMR. I have fallen asleep watching. Anybody familiar with? Thank you, Chris. uh, you're such a great chat attender. Got 2 hours to go. Well, I am definitely, when the girls get back, when I say girls, I'm talking about a 65-year-old and an 86-year-old, but my wife and her mom get back from senior shopping and banking and stuff like that. I'm going to have to cut it off. Forrest will be getting up pretty soon. Matter of fact, I think I might have heard him. He's my dog. My life revolves around taking care of my wife and her mom and our dog. And occasionally, I think about myself. Not super often, but enough. Matter of fact, speaking of that, let's see if I can set this. Whoa, look at nature's tripod working there. I'll be right back. Ouch. Oh. All right, folks, thank you for the pause for the cause here on Radio 420 KRAP. Oh, let's focus this thing in. Yeah, I sleep 5.5. I probably sleep. She was usually lights out for me is not too long after dark. I have post dusk chores that I do, whether that's a Thursday night I take out the regular dumpster to the curb, and on Tuesdays it's either green, which is plant products type stuff, or blue, which is recyclable stuff. I'm into recycling. If I can turn it in somewhere and get a nickel, though, I've got special spots for cans and bottles and even glass. We don't go through a whole lot of glass bottles, but the ones that we do go through are Heineken bottles. My wife enjoys a Heineken beer every so often, um, maybe 4 times a week. One beer 4 times a week, something like that. I'm usually, I think in 2024, I think I consumed not quite 4 beers. A lot of times I'll start one and she'll finish it. I don't get drunk or nothing, and it's not because I can't drink anymore. It's just it kind of satisfies the urge. But so I don't know how much. So I usually by I'm going to say 1900 hours. I might be closing my eyes, and then so that's maybe 1930, and then I usually get up around 2 or 2:30, somewhere between 2:30 and 4. Um, because that's a good time to get East Coast business done. I still have some loose ends I got to tie up in Ohio, and it kind of sounds like I'm getting closer to that last bucket list item. Uh, got a couple properties there that I want to just get off of my wife's plate for after I'm gone. I don't want her to have to fiddle with, renters or anything like that. I've got renters right now, and they've been threatening to buy it for quite a while. But as long as they still keep paying close to on time, I'm pretty lenient. Uh, but I'm just not greedy. I don't think that way. I think sustenance. I think in preparation terms, I like to stack silver and gold, but silver and gold probably fifth or sixth or maybe even seventh on my list of priorities. Um, I'm into other types of. I don't know. I don't know. Whoever's here, do you consider stacking an investment? I think it is an investment of time. It's definitely an investment of hard-earned money, uh, currency. I know people kind of fling around the term fiat. I understand what fiat is. Um, it's it's a pejorative type uh, term, but I just call it the Federal Reserve note. I'm just not a fan of the Federal Reserve note ever since I learned about it, and that's been since the 80s when I finally, what I felt in my mind, I figured it out. Yeah, savings. Yeah, yeah, it's not, I don't think it's a traditional investment. When I think of investments, I think of Big Mo. MO used to be Philip Morris. Now I think it's called Atria, or I forget what it's called now. It's still the stock symbol still is MO. And I liked it, and a company called The Limited, which started in Columbus, Ohio. They're mostly famous for Victoria's Secret, which was an offshoot, and then it became its own company, its own stock symbol. My wife worked for them. She did pretty good on that stock, and my sister-in-law have been with them from almost the beginning, and whew, she did very, very, very well with The Limited. But yeah, it doesn't generate income. You're right, Chris. I do consider it kind of a savings account. I don't have any problem with the discipline of leaving my Federal Reserve note stack alone. Um, but I, it makes sense to me that it's almost like a forced savings because, yeah, if you live close to a coin shop, you can liquidate pretty quick. Pretty much probably anything might not be for what you want for it, but if an emergency comes up and you don't have a, a stack of cash, yeah, I could. It's a savings account. But apparently, some people like it. The fact that it does take effort to convert gold or silver into something that'll buy something at Best Buy or something that'll work at the veterinarian clinic, or wherever. So yeah, I think that does make sense. I think as a savings account, I think that's a very viable term. Uh, Now, for me, I didn't think about that. I never thought, I did think 30 years ahead because I made a 30-year plan, but I had such mixed up priorities as far as why my dominant motivating force for behind stacking, which I don't know if it was even called stacking. I called it hoarding. Um, that hasn't changed for me. Um, would I sell uh, silver and or gold today if I had to? Heck yeah. Um, if it was maybe not for myself, but for my wife, for sure. Uh, but because gold and silver are so low on my priority list, I've managed to arrange other types of investments and savings methods that hopefully will cover me in the event of some life-changing catastrophe. And when I think about the Maui fires, well, I wonder, there's all kinds of ways to hide this stuff inside a residence, whether it's, especially if it's your own home, because you have more freedom and security. less eyes, but even in an apartment, I've devised ways of hiding stuff, but I prefer under 6 feet under, not quite 6 foot, but because man, out here you get down 3 foot, it's kind of like trying to dig through lava rock, because that's probably what it is. Super super difficult. With a pickaxe. Now maybe with a mini excavator, that's a different story. Will I ever get a mini excavator? Eh, I'm, if I live long enough, I probably will. Not just for digging stuff up, though. Insurance you pay yourself and always has value. That's right. But what's nice about that kind of insurance is, there is a chance that it will blossom into more of a value than any of us can really imagine, although we all probably can't imagine an idea of it, of what it might be worth value wise. Personally, for me, I think of gold as in a future situation beyond the Federal Reserve note, especially, but even before then, especially with all the changes that the world and the country's going through, monetary conditions and rumors and events, I think that it's possible that it could be used as a collateral, a base for collateral um, in certain business deals, financing deals, whether that's somebody's trying to finance an actual investment. Silver and Gold Junkie says gold. Yes, Gold and Silver Junkie. So gold's your first name. Good for you. Um, my first, again, we didn't call it stacking, but my first coin in my stack was gold accidentally. But when I first started buying in '98, I was after silver, and for some reason I was after silver eagles. Fell in love with the monster boxes, and then fell in love with the idea of filling one up individually, as it come. Then I then the gold just became natural. I think the metamorphosis of stacking into collecting seems natural to me, and I do think one of the traits of being a human is to collect and stash stuff, hoard stuff. I probably got it from my parents, who got it from their parents, because my parents lived, they were kids during the Depression. My dad was born in 23. My mom was born in 25. And their parents really had it rough, especially in the late 20s. My dad's dad was a barber, and haircuts, a shave and a haircut back then was a quarter. Um, and then he had a couple special clients, so maybe he was able to charge more, or maybe they just tipped him. But I think he used to cut the governor of Ohio's hair. This was probably back in the late 20s, uh, 1895. He was born, so he was probably cutting hair by the time he was 20. So that's 1895. So that's 1915. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And I've actually got some silver that I feel I'm pretty sure come from my grandfather. Now, I mean, all income was derived through his uh, cutting of hair. Uh, my dad and his brothers, yeah, they did odd jobs. I don't know if they had paper routes back then, but they used to do all kinds of stuff and scrounge for, a dime or a nickel, between four four brothers. Although and eventually it ended up being five sons, but the one the youngest, I think 14 years younger than my dad. But yeah, the core of them, those four, man, if they, I doubt if they ever got their hands on a quarter. The quarters would probably stay with their dad, the patriarch of the family. But I think my grandma worked at a dairy. I think she maybe did some, laundering, seamstress type stuff. It was a different world back then. Um, but yeah, I think silver and gold is I just think it's a good thing. Is it for everybody? Obviously not. I don't know what the percentage of Americans actually own physical gold and silver is, but I would imagine it's less than 10%. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's higher now with, with the internet and the exposure that the internet gives all kinds of stuff. I hope so. In my opinion, the more people that stack, the better off we all are. Uh, whether or not some event happens to cause us all to realize, oh, we were right. But I think that's already here. As Chris in Virginia says, most of his stack has doubled in value, but it probably buys the same amount of toilet paper. Yes, I agree with you. I remember when the prices started going up, maybe uh, just past 2000, 2001, 2002, they just started creeping up. Now, I wasn't paying attention to it daily, hourly, minutely like happens nowadays. I was on a schedule after I backed the truck up at the very beginning and got what I could with as much cash as I could put together, without reaching into some other stack, whether that be long-term food, water, survival gear, pew pew, freedom seeds, that kind of stuff, fire. But yeah, so, but you're right. It probably does any equivalent. But it it helps personally. It helps me to have gotten in a little bit earlier. It helps assuage my sticker shock, which I still get every time when the calendar says, um, and I just turned it over to February, and so I've got a February budget to spend, um, and I have for the past, I guess, maybe 5 to 6 months now since I've met you folks. But it ain't easy, and I'm comfortably poor. I don't have the income coming in like I did back then. So, but it does help me kind of cost average in my brain. But I really don't. I don't do that. I don't really keep records. I don't care. Oh, well, what if the government shows up and wants to prove this? Bring it, whatever. You can prove what you want to prove. I'm such a small potato. I don't think they're looking to appeal me. Um, so I would have put money into platinum, but I read that it's less and less used in automotive due to hybrids and electrics. I believe that. I didn't collect platinum. I saw it occasionally, but back then, platinum was, I don't know if it was way more expensive than gold, but it was definitely more expensive than gold consistently all the time. Here's my only platinum. I don't even have any platinum jewelry. I don't have hardly any jewelry. Here's my jewelry. I got a crucifix. I got an 18 karat gold crucifix on a 14 karat gold, very modest chain. This is my 1/20th ounce 1991 Koala 9995 platinum. It's an Australian. I'm pretty sure it's a coin because I think it's got a denomination. What that denomination would be. Boy, the thing is so small, yet bigger than that $1 gold piece that I got. Let me see if I can see. Oh my gosh, that is so small. But I don't remember getting this. I just don't. And I've tried to think, and I can only guess that I got this in a trade with the guy that I traded a bunch of stuff, golf clubs, golf balls, decoys, Ruger 1022, uh, all different kinds of stuff. But yeah, so platinum is neat. But I see how somebody might want to buy platinum now as a speculative type exercise, whether or not, and you can't get inside anybody's head, whether or not they believe that it's going to be lumped in with silver and gold in the way that I look at silver and gold. I look at silver and gold as being in the Constitution. One of the things I remember thinking about platinum was, besides, wow, it's way more expensive than gold. Why is that? Was I couldn't find anywhere in in the coin books or in the Constitution, nothing about platinum. Um, throughout world history, just don't recall platinum being used as money, whereas gold and silver, you know, I don't think uh, I don't think that's a secret. Gonna duck out. Chris in Virginia. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, uh, desktop to BB. I wonder what BB is. In 5 if things are still going. Well, thank you, Chris in Virginia. Anybody still here that hasn't uh, met Chris? He's in Virginia, and he's been in the chat for quite a while. Thank you very much for your time, and Gold and Silver Junkie. Thank you, and Bellows, and anybody else that's still here. Thank you, Chris in Virginia. I don't know if I've ever been through Virginia. Hello from Chicago. I have been to Chicago. And thank goodness you reminded me that I remembered the name of this nightclub that we went to. I don't remember whether it was on Ohio or Michigan. It was downtown Chicago. It was called Mother's. That thing was hopping. I went to A school in the Navy up at Great Lakes. So didn't go into Chicago, but maybe a couple times. We mostly went to Kenosha because um, although I don't recall being refused beer service in Chicago, downtown Chicago, but we knew for sure we could go to Kenosha and buy beer being under 21. I was in Great Lakes in 1978 for the blizzard. Oh my goodness. I had a Camaro, I had a 74 Camaro, and I drove from Ohio to Chicago for A school, back and forth a few times. I had a buddy that I went to high school with. He was also um, he wasn't. Yeah, he was stationed up there. He was probably going to a different kind of an A school. I think he was a tech writer. I don't know what his rate was, but yeah, Chicago, Windy City. So the last time I went through Chicago was coming back here. Either the first trip I came one trip to scout it out, get things prepared for. At that time was Ikaika, a different bull terrier, and so I think the Cubs just won the World Series. So that had to been, so they must have won the World Series in, I would imagine, October, sometime in October of 2016. I'm just guessing. I think that's the last time I went through Chicago. And good for them, good for the Cubs and the Cubs fans. Of course, I can say that being a fan of a team that's won, I don't know, 27 or 28 World Series. Uh, but yeah, Chicago. Now I remember Ernie Banks. I remember was it Ron Santo, uh, Ferguson Jenkins. I think was a famous Cub. And you could be a White Sox fan, and I don't know that many White Soxers. Frank Thomas, he was a White Sox. It was just funny. I lived in such a small village. We were so small. We officially were not even a town. We had a corporation on it, but it was a village, less than 1,000 people. And I graduated with 52. But they so see so it's the who was the most famous? I would say Ernie Banks is probably the most famous, but the White Sox I don't just never paid much attention to them. Growing up, can't rem- I don't remember any famous Chicago White Soxers. But so I was from this itsy bitsy town, and I played little league, and I had never played organized sports at all until the summer before the 6th grade. So I had to learn baseball really quick, and in this little itsy bitsy town, all our all of our baseball teams were Sox. We had the Yellow Sox, the Green Sox, the Blue Sox, the Red Sox. We did not have a White Sox team, but we had a Black Sox team, and I was on the Black Sox. And that was kind of fun. Yeah, you know, there was at a time in my life that I probably wished I'd have been able to visit Wrigley Field, in its heyday, or Fenway Park. I did get to go to the old Yankee Stadium. That was fun, got to get my picture taken with Mickey Mantle's plaque and stuff like that. And a little spoiled, our the Yankees AAA club for many, many years was in Columbus, Ohio, which was pretty close to where I live. Close enough to go catch a game every so often. Yeah, but they've changed stadiums. They changed venues a lot, I guess, pretty frequently, a lot more frequently than before. But man, I'm trying to think. There was a Ernie Banks. There was another pretty famous Cub, but Ernie, I think, is probably the tip, the cream of the crop as far as Chicago Cubs history. I could be wrong, but oh, neat. So wow, there's this just shows 8 people are in here still. Well, thank you for getting in here. Uh, I don't think I've missed a whole lot in the chat lately. Been looking at this out of focus platinum 20th of an ounce. So yep, that's my entire platinum stack. um, I don't know why I have a sentimental attachment to this thing. Probably because it's besides it's cute as the dickens. That it's my only piece of platinum, and I don't really envision myself purchasing any platinum in the future. Am I missing out on something? Could be. I've missed out on all kinds of stuff in 65 years. Um, I I try not to dwell on could haves and would haves and should haves and what ifs. That drives me nuts, or would drive me nuts. So let me see what else I got here. Well, this might be interesting. I guess I will open this up since there's still people here that haven't fallen asleep. Better some than none. Ain't that the truth? I like, I'd rather have 10% of something than 100% of nothing. So here's the prepper in me. This is, I've utilized this. I call it a get out the door or get home wallet, but this is I carry this with me. And just recently, I was tempted on using the 20 that's inside of here. But here's what I carry with me when I leave the house, just in case I got to bribe some local guy to get by some roadblock down the hill in order to get to my wife. Um, so I carry a little gram of gold. Now, is that going to work on somebody that don't know anything about gold? I don't know. This might. Um, I've been tempted. This is the same 20 I've had in here for a long time. I've been tempted to use this because um, I didn't want to go to the bank, or I didn't want to break a hundo in order to buy some cigarettes. But so far I've resisted that temptation. What else I got in here? That's it. Okay, so I figured, I thought I had a couple halves and a couple quarters. These are most likely 90 percenters. For some reason, I felt like, well, it probably wouldn't hurt to have one of these olden walking liberties because it looks authentic. Would it work? Who knows? In my mind, it might. John F. Kennedy is probably one of my top favorite coins, not just because I have some, but that's pretty neat. I mean, probably my favorite coin is that St. Gaudens high relief, which I do not have one of. Um, and then so a silver quarter, another silver quarter. There's the rooster. But yeah, I just, in my paranoid mind, I thought that this wouldn't be a just in cases, can't hurt anything type thing to have. You just never know. Uh, it'd work with me. Yeah, 210. Um, but I'm slowly but surely, I'm getting out of that. Um, I'm getting out of the SHTF mindset, but I have not stopped thinking that there's a possibility for some kind of currency reset. And when I think of that, I always think in the worst case scenario because, you know, if in my opinion, if the government's involved, it could, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be, but it could be kind of shady. definitely not geared towards common folk like me. But recently, with the with new president, and I know he's been there before, but to me, seems different. I don't know. I don't think doesn't seem more confident. I think it seems. I think he seems more of. He doesn't have to worry about getting reelected. He's learned a lot of lessons the hard way, and maybe none of his ideas are any good, but it just it definitely seems like something's changing. Whether it's for the good, I don't know. But and I don't talk a whole lot of politics. I have a whole lot of politic talk in my head, but I keep it to myself mostly. Um, so yeah, I think I don't know. Is anybody that's still here? Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like something's happening? Something's happening with as far as financially in the world money markets. It seems to me, it seems like almost maybe it's hopeful thinking, wishful thinking that the banks are losing a little bit of their grip on their power. And I don't begrudge people, work using the system, working the system. That's just the way it is. I'm just too lazy, and I don't really care. Uh, and it's not because I'm old. It's just the way I've always felt. I have limited brain power, and I have to use what I got to do things that I have a little bit of control over. I do have control over uh, stacking stuff. I do have control over other categories that might, if I don't live up to those obligations, that's where my doubt comes in. What would I do? I would probably do whatever it would take to not have to trade any of this stuff in for a Federal Reserve note. I'm planning on jumping off that bridge if and when we get to the point where this folding stuff is obsolete. I mean, it's happened before all over the world in history, and I think the United States fiat currency run is the longest ever in history. I could be wrong, uh, but yeah, the old every day that goes by, I seem to be less and less concerned about it, and some of that lack of concern could be because I feel like I'm somewhat prepared. Um, but I do think any silver, any gold at any quantity, and that's one of the things I noticed myself looking at the channels with people that have a lot of stuff, a lot of gold and silver. Um, I don't know if that could be. To me, it's encouraging that other people do that, and more power to them. If maybe they had higher income levels, more disposable income. But I think how that might cause somebody new to the subject matter thinking, oh, that's why there's no way I can do something like that, without realizing that it doesn't take much. You know, you get somebody gets to the point where they can put together 20 ounces of silver in any form or fashion. Um, I just think they stand a better chance of being way ahead of the game if the rules were to change in whatever the next game's going to be. Just my opinion. Um, well, I tell you one thing about these lives, they are so much easier. I just ramble and ramble and ramble. It's my therapy session. I'm expecting the girls to be back at any time. Good, 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 good. 2 hours and 49 minutes. So I think I'm going to hang on here for 11 minutes unless the girls get back before then. Um, looks like there's still three people in here. I really appreciate everybody that stayed, everybody that's gotten this far, anybody that even came and left early. It's nice. I don't know if it's endorphin stimulation or some kind of satisfaction it gives me to feel like, somebody might be listening. I don't anticipate anything I say to be earth shattering for anybody, other than probably the only thing I could add to the stacking community that I think would be of value would be my techniques for hiding stuff. I'm really good at it. I'm so good at it. I still am finding stuff that, oh, that's right. I put this here for whatever reason. I can't even remember. But I've gotten really good with ductwork and plumbing, tubing and PVC and fence posts and pickaxes and shovels and all different kinds of ways. But since the Maui fires, um, to me that reinforced my idea of no, why take the chance? And I know some people say, well, yeah, it'll just melt and you'll be able to scrape it up. Yeah, if your government or your town or city will let you back into your property before somebody else going in there under the guise of, oh, we're making it environmentally safe for people to go back to their homes. Yeah, right. You're scraping you're scraping foundations to see if there's anything shiny. Can't fool me. Oh, here's a sentence. Awesome. Chris in Virginia says, I think it's a nervousness in the general population's lacks of discretionary income. People know we need to change what's going on, may or may not be happy about what's happening now. Yeah, I agree with that, Chris. There's just such a deluge of information coming from many different directions, 24/7, 365. Oh my goodness. I don't know how healthy it is to have that much information out there, but I think it's probably is healthy. Deciphering what's true and what's real, that's difficult. One of the things I like about this new administration is I don't have to seek other channels to see what uh, the president says, because the new White House website, um, wow, it's pretty frequent and pretty out there. Granted, it's probably one-sided, their side, his side, but I kind of think he earned it. Um, but yeah, I'm not. I'm I'm pessimistically optimistic for my nephews. They're in their early 20s, early to mid 20s. I think it's going to be okay. Um, but you never can tell. But yeah, there's definitely a nervousness, and I tell you, I wasn't surprised, but I was coming back from the post office or the gas station. I don't. That's but and Costco. There's the only places I go to, and Home Depot. I don't go to many places. And but I noticed it was early in the morning. Um, I think that was one of those days where I was so early, and I think it was a Sunday that I had to end up going to 7-Eleven and paying extra for some cigarettes. But as I'm driving home, uh, lots of traffic. This is not even barely light, not even light yet. So probably around 0500 or something like that. And man, there's all these cars and trucks parked by the 7-Eleven and in line headed towards, which I think is some city county recreational building with some tennis courts, which I guess now are pickleball courts. But what it was, I'm going to just use the term bread line, uh, food, a place where you can drive up in your vehicle and you get food. Um, you know, quantities of different kinds of food. I rubbernecked enough to figure that out. But what I noticed was, man, there were some. I mean, you guys checked out the prices of new motor vehicles nowadays. These are fairly late model-ish. You know, uh, Titans and the 2024 and newer Tacomas. You're talking about 40, 50, 60 BMWs, all different 50, 60, 70, $80,000 cars and trucks and SUVs, motor vehicles in line to get free food. That just seems so strange to me. Um, I don't know what to think about that. Well, other than, man, I'd like to have some free food. I don't think I could bring myself into getting in that line. Even if it was a quickie drive in and drive out, it didn't look like it was a quickie. Now, whether or not you had to qualify to get in that line or reserve a spot to get in line, or I have no idea. And I have no inclination to find out, but I just thought that struck me odd that some guy in a 3 year or less older BMW, when I say guy, somebody uh, is in line to, like a bread line. I don't know what you call those things, food giveaway type things, food bank stuff. I don't begrudge them. You know, they're probably in debt up to their bald spot. Um, but that struck me odd. That's recently. That's probably within the last 10 days, I think. It might have been last Sunday or the Sunday before that. I don't even know what day today is. It's Tuesday. That's right. Senior shopping day. Um, but yeah, nervousness is true. Oh, looks like the girls might be done down the hill and be coming back soon. So let me recap real quick. What did I do? What did I go over? And I'm going to do individual videos on most of this stuff. The new additions to the stack, I thought I covered that pretty well. Wasn't much. Some gold. Mm. Probably one of the most interesting ones is the Eagle Dansko album. Um, I never envisioned myself wanting to do that, although that's how I started coin collecting back in probably 1965. Some Boy Scout merit badge thing or an activity that my dad was into with his oldest son, my oldest brother. But there are some people that are filling up these albums, not with eagles. Nobody likes the eagle. I do, but they make them. I Googled it. Uh, so they sell them. There's the brown ones, which I think are Dansko, and then the blue ones, which I think are Whitman or some other company. To me, it looks, and it's not that much more of, pardon the pun, premium for the Dansko over the blue ones, which I think are Whitman. Gonna go ahead and duck out, Chris from Virginia. Brah, you are the best. Thank you so much. You have a great night. I do hope you catch me later, or I catch you later in somebody else's chat, and I'm going to find out if you produce content. If you don't, no worries. You've been a great audience member today, and I really appreciate your input and your participation and the ideas that you put out there. Very nice. Have a great day, night, probably a week, morning, life. Really appreciate it. So yeah, I think the Eagle Dance Co. album, um, I don't know what you would call that, goal or activity, operation type thing. Um, I think that'll be kind of fun. I don't know. I don't really have fun. Um, Downsizing silver. Yeah, I did talk about that. I did a little bit of that already. I traded a kilo kook. It was big. Uh, it was a kookaburra. Big coin. Uh, you know, what is it? How many ounces are in a kilo? 30 something? I don't know. A lot. I traded it straight up, spot to spot, at my first, and hopefully it's not my last coin show, but it very well could be. It wasn't very big. It wasn't that exciting. A little bit at the beginning, but it was over so quick. There are just not that many dealers. Nice spot, free. Hmm. Pumpkin's here. My favorite feral cat. Okay, I'm gonna go get Pumpkin, let him in, because he gets an attitude if I don't let him in right away. Pumpkin! Pumpkin! Hey, buddy. Hey, this poor cat, I saved his life. Wow, it might have been 3 years ago. Hey, buddy, might have been 3 years ago. And I knew better than to do it, but I just couldn't help myself. Hey, buddy. He is super feral. His claws, his front claws. We ran out of dilithium crystals. No, we're back. Good job, Scotty. Hello, Pumpkin. What's up, buddy? So yeah, this is our feral cat. He disappeared for 11 months. And then finally showed back up again, acted like he hadn't been gone but a couple days. Uh-oh, I think the girls are home. So this is a good time to wrap it up. Oh, Pumpkin, where'd you go? Hey, buddy. Hi. He's kind of tame now. Ouch, he just bit me. Ouch, great timing, yeah. Sorry, buddy, sorry. Funny, he's a funny cat. All right, well, it's a good time to wrap it up. I'll be right with you, Pumpkin. Be patient. Um, so thanks for everybody. 32.15 ounce in a keto. Thank you, 210 stacks. I knew it was something like that. I can get pretty close on stuff. So yeah, so I did some downsizing. It was a lateral trade. I'm thinking, well, I got some sets. I just want to make stuff a little bit more compact, a little bit easier for my wife easily to liquidate. Uh, if she's put in that position with me. So yeah, these proofs and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a definite. And I kind of put it on the back burner. Hey, buddy, kind of put it on the back burner until Nash from Pure Metals showed up in one of the live streams of Liberty Bleed Silver and Blue Collar Stacker and Vegas Stacker. And that's a pretty neat idea. It'll kind of multitask me to learn a little about all these fancy online paying ways like Venmo, PayPal. There's a bunch of them. Hey, buddy. Ouch, ouch, ouch. He likes to get up on my legs and need me. Like, you can't hurt nothing. Go ahead. But yeah, so the pure metals things just sound super interesting. Um, it's not that the savings using them versus an eBay. eBay's changed a lot since I had my experiences with it, and I'm not, there might be a trust issue involved there, and it's not so much the commission thing, but the peers thing sounds cool. I kind of like the idea that if somebody, ouch, ouch, Pumpkin, ouch, the somebody somebody on the channel, especially if I knew them, were to end up with something that I've been coveting and protecting and burying and moving across half the world, uh, end up in their stack, and for whatever reasons they might want it. Oh, that's just a neat idea. And then that those Federal Reserve notes that I would gain from those sales, I would turn it into 1 ounce forms of silver. Probably a bunch of eagles, especially the years that I might feel like I need after I get one of those fancy Dansko albums. But it would be neat. And if they didn't sell, well, I'm not really out anything, right? My pouring fails, yeah, they are just. I am really horrible, but I will figure it out. Prepping priorities and immediate future. Probably one of the things I need to do in the immediate future is learn how to spell the word immediate. But I really appreciate everybody getting here, um, and you guys people at the end. Um, Although it does seem that most stackers predominantly are male, so I'll use guys. But guys can be guys and girls. I used to give group lessons, and a lot of times I'd give group lessons. All the pupils were females, And I still call them guys. All right, guys, let's show me, show me your grip, show me your V. Where's your knuckles? Come on, guys. They never took offense to that. Um, I just don't think people cared about that kind of stuff back in the in the 90s. Maybe they did, and I just was ignoring it all. But thank you so much for. Oh, what a good boy! Look at that guy. He's just waiting for some food, aren't you? He's a good boy. So thanks for getting here. It is 3 hours and 5 minutes. Awesome. Uh, again, mahalo nui loa. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. If you have fallen asleep listening to this, my quest is finished. I am a success. So, what do I always say? Oh, yeah. Get what you can while you can, when you can, at the best price you can, while you still can, without neglecting other priorities, obligations, and investments. And until the next time, all right, then.